Maintaining your beard isn't just style, it's self-respect. A well-grown beard boosts confidence and leaves a lasting impression. Elevate your look. Embrace the importance of beard care today.
What's the first thing women notice? Your face. That's why you got to take care of it. Simple things like getting a haircut, grooming your face, and brushing your teeth is important. But there's one thing guys miss and that women always notice. It's when a guy isn't taking care of his skin. That's why I'm so excited to have TJ Hanley as a sponsor of today's video. TJ Hanley simplifies the process of taking care of your skin. They provide you with all the products you need and nothing you don't. Seriously, I don't think some of you believe me when I tell you how much implementing a quality skincare routine will improve your confidence in all aspects of your life. I recommend you start with the Level 1 system, which comes with all the basics: daily face wash, exfoliating scrub, an AM moisturizer with an SPF 20 and a PM moisturizer. But there's and to make it dead simple for you guys, they provide an instruction card in every box that tells you when to use each product, how much to use, and in what order. But because TJ is sponsoring this video, they're offering you an amazing deal. Just click the first link in the description and get 40% off your first skincare system and free gift. Plus, as a member, you'll get 20% off for life. By the way, one of their new gift options is a silicone body scrubber, which is a $20 value and a complete game changer. Once you use this, you'll never go back to a regular loofah ever again. So don't wait any longer. Click the first link in the description to start your skincare journey today.
What's going on, family? Welcome to Lapeef Network. We're going to introduce the crew. We got Mr. Trev Smooth, Sham Monet, T, Sweeney, Whites, Ruth, Chanel, Casey, myself, and Raku J.I. What's going on? How y'all doing, family?
Literally went live just now.
Hold on, we got the. I had to fix that. Trying to figure out who it was. What's going on, family? How y'all doing? Like, Ruth got some company.
Good.
Yeah, I had to mute you, Ruth. We was hearing everything over there, so I had to go ahead and mute you up. Well, it's good to see you guys, man. Happy Thursday, one day away from Friday. Let me go ahead and get the housekeeping out the way. Shout out to the sponsor, TJ Hanley. Uncomplicated skincare for men. They got 40% off, along with a free gift, and you get 20% off for life if you become a member. So shout out to TJ Hanley. Also, we got the beard products on deck. This is a Sure Man King on top. If you're looking to get that beard connected, nice and fluffy, women can rub their fingers through it. This is what you want to get right here. This is step 1, step 2, 3, and 4. This is all you need right here. The whole kit. So click that link that's pinned to the top of the chat or go to the description if you're catching it on the replay. Man, ladies, y'all looking lovely, man. I see we got a little black going on, a little color up top. We got to wait to see what Sham Monet going to do. She always got to have a grand entrance. A round of applause.
What bad?
Oh, I didn't know you was there. My fault, Sham. I thought I was talking behind your back, man. I'm sorry. Anyhow, let's see who we got in the chat. Angela Swift, what's going on? Shannon Duncan, Fishing to Fit, the Legacy. AP is in the house. Joe Lee, Mr. BX87, the Legacy. BZ, Herlande, hopefully I said that correctly. My first time seeing you. Welcome. Kelvin Cook, Dale Matthew, Mr. Collins, what's going on, brother? My first time seeing your name as well. Glad you guys can tune in. We got an excellent show ahead of you for you guys. You know how we do. We break it down. We're going to start off with a little bit of politics. Politics need to be all over the news, right? Okay, T, I guess T afraid of politics. She done ran away. I like that hat, Casey. Just say Los Angeles on there? Okay.
Thank you.
Yeah, okay. I see you got the style guide, huh?
No.
Let me find out. They say you slaying it, huh? Anyhow, it's a lot of things going on in politics, man. Is everybody voting on the panel? Everybody voting? Like I know Sweeney voting. He said he's gonna vote for the person that we don't talk about, right? You don't leave me
Who?
hanging.
R.F. Kennedy?
I don't know. I thought Sweeney said on King Talk he was voting for somebody independently. Sweeney, can you hear me? Oh, okay. Oh, okay. You silent. Huh? You're giving us a silent treatment.
He's not going to discuss it.
Why is it so private about who people voting for?
Sometimes people scared. They don't want to stand on it. They don't want the. I mean, I can understand it because it's separated families sometimes. So there's some people who won't even talk to you no more because they're so hell bent on their idea, right? And they just get caught up in the feels sometimes about this. Some people like really, really, really on it, and they feel like their life is going to get ruined one way or the other.
Okay. Anybody else?
Yeah, this feels like 2016 all over again. I mean, it was chaotic for that election, and I feel like the heat is on all over again. But social media is way crazier than it was back then. So, like Trev said, people are taking offense to what certain people believe if it's their friends. And then a lot of people don't want to say what they're doing because of jobs and, depending on where they work, they may work at places that may stand against what they believe. So they rather be quiet on that, whether it's maybe more liberal or more conservative. So I think people's jobs and like coworkers finding out their pages and stuff like that. Like, so it's just, that type of stuff.
Okay. Does anybody on the panel think that Kamala, hopefully I said her name correctly, is black?
Yeah, her father is Irish Jamaican. So no.
Was that Thursday that I missed last Thursday that y'all kind of like really went in on that? That was that show, right? That was last Thursday, right?
Yeah, they did.
Because sometimes I make sure when I miss a show, I watch y'all and I feel like I'm in the show with y'all, even though I'm not there. But no, I don't believe she's black.
She sounds black, but she ain't black.
So I've had a lot of people kind of go back and forth with me about this, saying, "Oh, she went to HBCU and she plays a black sorority." Those two factors mean absolutely nothing. I don't know why people keep using those two things to say, "Oh, she's an AKA and she went to HBCU." I went to an HBCU, and the whole tennis team was white. The whole softball team was white and Hispanic. The whole soccer team was white, Hispanic, and Asian. Like, we're not gonna do this. There's white Zetas, there's white deltas, there's that marched in the civil rights movement, that was a part of the civil rights movement. Like, there's white in or any other race in every in every Divine Nine organization. So to say that she's white, she's black because she went to HBCU and that she pledged the predominantly black, historically black sorority fraternity. Those two situations do not make her black, y'all. She just had a black experience.
She's passing for black. That you see.
Chanel, you on mute. Are you not on mute? Okay. Did you get a phone call? If you got a phone call, then you might got to hit the refresh button. Sometimes when you get a phone call, no, I just hit the refresh button. Yeah. I mean, I really didn't even know if she was black until I started to see everybody talking about it. It was breaking down, even on the show. So I've learned some things on the show as well as like Judge Joe Brown. I think Kwame might have said something. There's just a lot of people coming out really breaking down her background. Go ahead, man.
JR, I'm about to send you a video of her saying that she's Indian. I'm about to send you that video on social media.
Okay.
Hello.
Yeah, we can hear you.
Let me correct you in case you're talking about what I said last week, because I definitely didn't say because she went to a HBCU and she pledged, AKA, that she's black. Sweeney was talking about that she's trying.
I wasn't talking
Okay,
about
no,
you.
I'm just correct, just in case, because you mentioned that somebody said last week that you thought you heard that somebody said that it doesn't make her black because she went to HBCU and she pledged, AKA. I brought that up last week, so if you're not talking about that, but let me just reiterate that.
I said I watched the show last week.
So let me just reiterate that. So
their argument is to me.
Well, let me help you understand maybe what they're talking about. Sweeney last week was talking about how she's trying to be black, and there was another guy on there trying to be black, and that, oh, now she's dancing around with black people. Oh, now she's this. Nah, she's been doing that since she was a teenager. So that's what my point was. She went to a black school, so she was around black people. She plays the black sorority, so she does understand our culture, whether you think she's black or not. That's what I meant. So if you're not talking about me, great, but I think that's what your friends were trying to say to you, is that she still has background with being with black people, regardless of what you feel. She's pledged black schools.
That gives them a black experience. That doesn't make you black. I have tons of friends that are,
it doesn't make you black, but they said, but you got some people feel that she doesn't understand our blackness. And I'm trying to say to you, she does.
Yeah, as a black woman, would you say racism doesn't exist? Would that come out your mouth?
Why would I say that? Why would anybody say that?
Would you say
That's a dumb question.
America is no longer a racist country? Would you say that?
America's always a racist country.
Okay.
A
black woman would not say that. Right?
But if you can, but what you're not going to do is dismiss someone's experience growing up in the black community and try to act like she don't understand it. She ain't trying to do nothing. That's just what she came out. That was her background. Period.
She can't understand it if she make a statement like that. If she make a statement like that, she can't understand it. No.
How would you know? How would you know? She went to an HBCU.
Because I've been a black man my entire life.
But now you're discrediting her experience with actual black people.
Chanel, why are you
a black person? I'm telling you that that's not
like Kamala's your sister. Like it's not.
Because she is.
You don't have to take it. You don't have to. No, she's not.
I'm not taking it personal. I'm not taking it personal. But I just feel like our community, we are so disgusting to each other. We will find the littlest thing. Oh, we want somebody black. We want somebody black. Then we get somebody. Wait a minute. We don't want this one though. This is how we do things. So we're gonna find something. Just like you said, she's not black. If she says she is, then that's what she is.
Chanel, everybody can have their own opinion, and what I don't try to do.
Mine.
So what I don't try to do on this panel, let me let you know what I don't try to do on this panel. I don't try to convince anybody of my point. What I do, I state my point.
I don't convince anybody. I state mine, and I said what I said.
From me.
I heard what your point was. I was correcting what you thought you may have heard.
What I don't tell people is what they are and not going to do, because I'm my own woman and I'm my own person just like you. So you don't have to take any conversation on this panel personal, because I'm talking about Kamala. I'm not talking about you.
I'm only responsible what I say. You responsible how you take it. I'm not getting it. You're responsible how you take it. But I said what I said.
Oh, Chanel,
I understand.
Well, I guess it's the reason why people may be a little bit quiet about who they're voting for, because politics, a lot of people are passionate about politics. Did you guys see Trump when he went on to the black journalist? You guys see?
Yeah.
Sure did.
Yeah. Rachel Scott?
Yeah, so I'm gonna play a little bit of that, and then we'll go ahead and get you guys' thoughts on it.
Thank you. Mr. President, we so appreciate you giving us an hour of your time. I want to start by addressing the elephant in the room, sir. A lot of people did not think it was appropriate for you to be here today. You have pushed false claims about some of your rivals, from Nikki Haley to former President Barack Obama, saying that they were not born in the United States, which is not true. You have told 4 congresswomen of color who were American citizens to go back to where they came from. You have used words like animal and rabid to describe black district attorneys. You've attacked black journalists, calling them a loser, saying the questions that they ask are, quote, stupid and racist. You've had dinner with a white supremacist at your Mar-a-Lago resort. So my question, sir, now that you are asking black supporters to vote for you, why should black voters trust you after you have used language like that?
Well, first of all, I don't think I've ever been asked a question so in such a horrible manner. First question. You don't even say, hello, how are you? Are you with ABC? Because I think they're a fake news network, a terrible network. And I think it's disgraceful that I came here in good spirit. I love the black population of this country. I've done so much for the black population of this country, including employment, including opportunity zones with Senator Tim Scott of South Carolina, which is one of the greatest programs ever for black workers and black entrepreneurs. I've done so much, and and I say this, historically black colleges and universities were out of money, they were stone cold broke, and I saved them, and I gave them long-term financing, and nobody else was doing it. I think it's a very rude introduction. I don't know exactly why you would do something like that, and let me go a step further. I was invited here, and I was told my opponent, whether it was Biden or Kamala, I was told my opponent was going to be here. It turned out my opponent isn't here. You invited me under false pretense.
And will you tell those Republicans and those supporters to stop it?
How do you define DEI? Go ahead. How do you define
diversity, equity, inclusion?
Okay, yeah, go ahead. Is that what your definition?
That is
give me a
literally
definition
the words
then. Would you give me a definition
DEI.
of that? Give me a definition.
Sir, I'm asking you a question,
no,
a
you
very
have to
direct
define
question.
It. Define it for me, if you would.
I just defined it, sir. Do you believe that Vice President Kamala Harris is only on the ticket because she is a black woman?
Well, I can say, no, I think it's maybe a little bit different. So I've known her a long time indirectly, not directly very much. And she was always of Indian heritage, and she was only promoting Indian heritage. I didn't know she was black until a number of years ago when she happened to turn black, and now she wants to be known as black. So I don't know, is she Indian or is she black?
She has always identified as a black woman. She went to a historically black college.
I respect either one, but she obviously doesn't, because she was Indian all the way, and then all of a sudden she made a turn, and she became a black person.
Just to be clear, sir.
Why come here? What is your message today?
My message is to stop people from invading our country that are taking, frankly, a lot of problems with it. But one of the big problems, and a lot of the journalists in this room I know and I have great respect for, a lot of the journalists in this room are black. I will tell you that coming from the border are millions and millions of people that happen to be taking black jobs. You had the best.
What exactly is a black job, sir?
A black job is anybody that has a job. That's what it is, anybody that has a job.
All right. Much of that falls on the shoulders of single moms, single black moms, when you look statistically.
Yeah.
How do you turn it around? What's your plan for the black community when it comes to money?
So, first of all, it's very hard to hear you for whatever reason because of the fact that they have bad equipment, because I guess, this woman was unable to get the right equipment. But it's very hard for me to hear you, but I can hear every other word. It's very difficult, actually. But so I don't know if they can fix it or do something with it, but I'll do the best I can with it. The inflation is absolutely destroying our middle class, our working class, virtually every class. Inflation is a disaster in our country. Inflation is a country buster. It breaks every country. And we had, in my opinion, the worst inflation we've had. They say it's 58 years, but I think it's much more than that. It's been devastating. And if you just take a look at a lot of things they don't include, like interest rates. Interest rates went from 2.4% to 10%, and you can't get the money. People can't buy houses. They no longer have the American dream. Young people, young black people, they don't have the American dream anymore. They can't buy a house. They can't borrow the money because of the cost of the money. They can't buy it because of the cost of housing, because of the cost to build it, because of inflation. Inflation is a disaster, and it's destroying our country, and it's destroying the black community probably as much or more.
So what do you do?
Than any.
What's your plan?
You know what we have to do? We have to bring down the cost of energy, and that's going to bring down the cost of inflation. This was all started with a bad energy policy by Joe Biden. By the way, just if I might, I was running against a man named Biden. You probably saw that. And he was losing very badly in the polls, and then he...
I'm going to stop it there. I tried to take a little bit of pieces of the actual interview that they did with him. But just based off of that alone, just what you've seen, not what you feel about him outside of that, what are your immediate thoughts? Start with you, T.
I think it's some validity to what he's saying, if it's true. If those things about the black community and HBCUs and all those things are true, I think it might be some validity. And I do think that she should have at least greeted him. I think that in journalism, I think one of the first rules is to be unbiased. So I think if he showed up to give time and speak with you, I think, you could be courteous despite your beliefs. But,
Okay. Short and sweet.
I don't like to get too far into to that kind of thing, because I'm really objective. And I don't think that that's appreciated in our community.
What do you mean by objective? Can you?
I think that I don't feel like it just because, somebody's black, or somebody did this, or somebody did that, or because the media has said that they're racist, or they said this, or they said that I just feel how somebody has told me to feel. I feel like I kind of get into things very objectively and unbiased, so I can see validity in both people. And I don't think that that's appreciated in our community. I think you are supposed to just hate Trump and just, and I don't. So
Well,
I like to kind of keep my opinions to myself.
Well, I don't know about everybody else on the panel, but we appreciate that.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's a safe space.
I don't know now. I don't know. I don't know. And I don't like to, get to argue and get real. You know what I'm saying? I really appreciate everybody's opinion, and I'm open to it, and I can hear it. So I've been met with a lot of vitriol and anger, just, like, you're supposed to think this and feel this way. And I don't, I kind of think for myself, and I appreciate that in other people.
Yeah, I can't believe they did you like that, T. It must have been Clubhouse. All right, go ahead, Trev.
All right. A couple of things with that. First and foremost, I don't think you played the part where they were like 35 minutes late as far as setting up. This is the former president and potentially the next president, and I don't care what's going on. I'm familiar with production. I've dealt with production on many levels. That shit got to be tight, especially when when you have something that's potentially going to go viral. You don't want people complaining about your sound quality and they can't hear you. The corresponding is difficult. It makes for a very disgusting conversation. You can't really communicate. If you can't hear the other person, people are repeating each other. It's horrible, right? You miss messages. And I think they should have been on time. That's crazy, right? Now you over here reinforcing the stereotype. They go to the black people and they're like, we late. Come on, what we doing? I think that was disgusting. And in my personal opinion, Rachel Scott was fishing for a dumpster fire. For her to do that, that looked like straight up gaslighting to me. She did not have to come off like that. Skipping a greeting is crazy. You should be somewhat warm. Like there's different ways, and you can get so much more information out of somebody if you're not trying to bump heads with them. I think it could have been a way more productive interview, and she was more so fishing for a viral moment and being selfish about it versus finding out true answers. And I don't think that she should have shied away from holding him accountable. I think she should have held him accountable and asked questions. It could be tough questions, but there's a way to kind of slow walk somebody into that. There's still formalities, there's still professionalism. And she missed all of that. And that was extremely unprofessional. As a famous interviewer, like, I don't know what we're doing with that. Like, there was no reason for her to do that in that manner. And it should have absolutely been avoided. And she got what she wanted. A lot of people just have to understand this too, right? We want people to talk to us directly. We want people to address our issues. At this point, I don't think he's going to do a great job at it as far as his communication. Some people are not going to like it. But guess what? Donald Trump isn't going to change the way that he communicates because it's proven to be very effective for him. If you look at like his rallies and different things, there's people understand him. He actually made it to be president one time, not being an official politician. So if you have something that works, damn near 80 years old, I don't expect him to change it. But what we are asking is that he addresses our issues. And there's plenty of videos you'll find where at least he articulates a comprehensive strategy versus saying, I'm not going to do anything specifically for black people. And that's the alternative that we have right now. And I'm not a diehard Republican or anything like that. I would personally would rather have neither of them to be representing the two parties, right? So, but still, it's like the lesser of the evils. One of these two people are going to win. I'm not going to waste my vote on an independent because I want my voice to count one way or the other towards something. So, choose who you may, but base it on policy. And a lot of people get wrapped up into his personality. I don't like it either. But guess what? One of these people are going to be writing our policies, and it's up to us to figure out which move is going to be better for our families. That's it.
Okay. So, Trev, do you think the ladies asked some good questions, nevertheless?
I think so. I forgot what the homegirl name was in the far right. She had the pink. I think she should have been the lead interviewer, to be honest, because she had a lot more tact and she was more reasonable, and she was just going past. It seemed like she wanted to conduct a professional interview. Even the homegirl in the middle with the black, I'm sorry, I don't know the other two ladies' names, but she was better off too. She was better too. Yeah, they were better too. At least they were cordial, and I do like the fact that they asked tough questions, and even if they would have pried, because to be honest, he did a lot of deflecting. Like hell, he always does that. He just deflects and does this. This is how his interviews go, deflecting. But if you stay on an issue and you ask specific questions, I think you could get better answers. But they did ask some good questions. I appreciate the other two interviewers. They did a much better job.
Okay. Go ahead, Sweeney. You're on mute, Sweeney.
You hear me?
Yeah.
All right. So I didn't actually catch the interview, so I was going to ask, like, did they? If I'm assuming that Trev caught the entire interview, so did they ask Donald Trump anything about like specific agendas for the black community? They didn't. All right. So here's what I have to say about it. We were just talking about how hard it is for black journalists to be in a room, specifically at these like Republican national conventions, for us to be on the stage to be able to ask our questions during like presidential debates and things like that. We were just talking about how that can be problematic, how we're not in the room. Here we have a former president and a now presidential candidate in a room to speak to us. You got it. Like this was the chance to what I was talking about last week when I was saying, oh shit, damn TV. When I was talking about how you're supposed to be agenda driven and you tell the president what you need from him, this was one of those moments. You go in a room, you say, hey, look, this is what we need from you. I'm glad we got you here. How can you address these issues? Do you have any policies that you believe can address this particular issue? You tell them about the black race. You tell them about the racial wealth gap. You tell them about how inflation is harming the black community. You tell them how we aren't able to buy how we're unable to buy houses and things like that. And you showed him this is what we're dealing with. Do you have? And we have things that we think we should you can put in place for us. What do you think about these ideas? What policies do you think you can put in place that kind of aligns with these ideas? That's what you're supposed to do in that moment. But this is the problem when you make identity politics central, because now the conversation is about like, granted, part of the reason why black folks don't rock with Kamala Harris is because she's trying to cosplay and just use her blackness to get elected. But then you see how that leaks into everything else. You see how that leaks into addressing Donald Trump, and all you want to do is talk about, hey, I heard you say that Kamala Harris ain't black. Who gives a fuck what he believes about Kamala Harris when our thing is to put our issues in front of Donald Trump and make sure that he addresses them? Our issues are our issues. Whether she's black or not is neither here nor there. We can talk our shit. But when you got a president, a former president, and a candidate in the room, you talk to them about the issues and how they're going to fix them. That's what you're supposed to do. We finally got one in the room to talk to us. And this is how we behave? That's why I'll leave it there.
Okay, so here's a platform that I could get behind. Increase access to investment capital for a robust, self-sustaining black business infrastructure. Institute Black Business Development Agency to build and support African-American companies. Web courses taught by black entrepreneurs on starting businesses as qualifiers for small business grants. Low interest microloans to invest in approved business plans with flexible repayment terms. Millions of new full-time jobs for the black community. Immigration policy that protects local resources, into the migrant encampment in urban areas. Increased trade school and college prep opportunities for our youth. That's a very clear list you could have asked about any of those things. The other candidate, Kennedy, this is on his website. I looked at that website and was like, I could get behind this. Like, if Kamala Harris is black and this is on the table versus her and abortion rights and LGBT rights, and Trump with the Agenda 47 with some things that I don't agree with, I'm gonna go with this. I think a lot of people miss the point when we be talking about her. The issue with her not being black is you can't use the political capital of the black experience in America to propel yourself while at the same time not doing nothing for the black people you saying you using the name of. You got it. That's our issue. It's not that I would love to see a black woman actually do her thing, put some tangibles on the table. I don't got no problem voting for it, and there we go. But you can't just say I'm black, so vote for me. That shit did not work with Obama. It's not gonna work with her. And anybody that did vote for Obama that felt like they got duped, that's the resort of this. It's not black men saying we don't like black women or any of that. It's the resort of being hoodwinked and bamboozled and led astray, run amok, and the Hope campaign landing on top of us and not us landing on top of Hope Rock. That's the major issue with this whole thing. So yeah, I think Trump is funny. I think he racist? I think he, like all older white men, they racist than a motherfucker. So, but some of that should be funny. When he said she hit a U-turn and turned black, I died laughing. I was in the house like, hell no.
Hey, Mark. Huh? On a serious note, right? I was watching Head of State today, right? And you remember how they were talking about how if they elected a black, if they was the party that ran the first black presidential candidate, how they would garner the black vote or garner the minority vote for years to come. And I was sitting there and I was like, and now mind you, Head of State was made back in 2003, 2004. And I personally believe it backfired. I think the Democratic Party running the first black president, presidential candidate and winning the election, basically y'all woke up a sleeping giant. Because now black people done said, okay, we saw the first black. That first black not only did we see the first black didn't come in black. Like, he didn't come in talking about the things that he was going to do for black people and had a real concise black agenda for these black voters. once we saw that, that's where the whole identity politics thing went out the window. Once we saw what Obama did, we was like, oh, Obama's just a regular president. He acts just like the white man in office. He ain't doing shit for us, just like everybody else didn't do shit for us. And now that's what, and to your point, that's what we see in Kamala, is that now you're coming out and saying, hey, look, I'm about to be the first female black president, y'all. Y'all need to jump on this train. And we're like, no, we're not going this time. We're not falling for it. Put together a comprehensive agenda for us. Set aside some agenda points for us. Some things you're gonna do for us, just like you set aside things when you go to the to ask, when you go in that room with the immigrants and you talk about immigrants, you talk about policies that you're going to put in place for them. That's what you talk about. When you go in front of the Jewish community, you talk about policies you're going to put in place for them. When you go in front of the LGBT community, you go in there, you talk about policies you're going to put in place for them, policies you're going to protect. That's what we want to hear. What you going to do for us? Since you running a campaign, you show up in a room, what are you going to do for us? And like Marcus said, as long as you got an agenda for us, we got you. But don't think we're going to vote for you just because you're black or because we're scared of Trump. It's not going to work.
Do y'all see this? Can you see the numbers? Can anybody read the number? $13,000. No, look at the EBT balance and the cash balance.
Yeah,
is that thousands?
Yeah, 13,401.85 and a cash balance of $498.85. So the migrant the illegal immigration that they dumped off down the street. So I'm from out Lawndale, the holy city. They dumped all of them people in front of the police station. This is the receipt that somebody picked up after they was in a convenience store. They gave them people close to 20 grand. And it's a homeless encampment on Kedzie and 16th Street, full of black people that have been there since I was a little kid. And it's another one right down the street. So you mean to tell me that these people who've been here this whole time, you don't get no fuck about? But some people that's not supposed to be here, you get them 20 grand? When it's people in America that suffer from shit you specifically did, and you want us to get on board with helping you do more of that? Get the fuck out of here. It's people go to work every single day, been working for 10 years, don't got $2,000 in their checking and savings account. It's somebody right now that can't pay one bill and trying to figure it out, trying to get a third job and drive Uber Eats. You just gave these people 20 grand for showing up someplace they weren't supposed to go. When the people who supposed to be here you ain't take care of, then you want to get $38 billion. No, bro, I can't go.
We ain't going.
I can't go. I can't go.
But then you have a lot of people that say, oh, but they can't help themselves, and the people here can help themselves, so that's why they got the money. That's that argument. Then that argument comes into play. Well, they have to depend on the government because they're not from here, and so they have to have the resources, and they have to be given a hand up to get acclimated within American society, and this and this and that. And how can you fault them for wanting a better life from where they come from? And so then you have that argument back and forth, and you look like the a-hole because it looks like you're being harsh and you don't care for the common man or humanity. But it's not about that. It's almost like not taking care of the kids in your house and going adopt 15 kids from down the street and giving all your resources to those kids while your kids in your home go straight to hell. That to me, that's what it's like when it comes to immigration and how people kind of rational find any type of balance or connect their mind to heart, where they will disconnect their mind from their heart with being rational. With, like you said, how can we have children on the street, people on the street for 20 years, but then somebody can get dropped off right down the street from you and each individually be given $20,000 to a better life just to get off the street?
It's like having a bad, like, evil co-parent who goes on to become a great step parent.
All right, let me get Roof in there. Go ahead, Roof. What are your thoughts about it, man?
If I'm basing it off of this interview right here, I actually had some respect for Trump and how he handled himself. He called them out immediately. I don't like the stuff he said in the past. He said bad stuff about, Haiti before, but he sounds like the most logical person on the stage. He asked her to define DEI, and she just repeated it. And that just reminds me of I'm watching Kamala. If she was black, her name would be Kamala, right? But anyway, moving on. And she just repeated it. And when Kamala's talking or Kamala's talking, she says the same thing. Like she's so trying to spin it and sound smart, but she sounds really, really silly when she's talking. And Trump kind of does a little bit of that today, like going around and said, "Oh, the problem is, and people ain't got no money and inflation and this and that." But he did add some kind of something to the conversation. While I've heard Kamala say the same thing and say absolutely nothing if we're going on clips. So I think that the lady was rude. It's like if you didn't like somebody, that's your problem. But now you make them, even if they were an evil person, you make them look better because you couldn't control yourself. You couldn't control your emotions. You couldn't control your disdain for him. And that's how people got to stop being so passionate of having hate for somebody you never met, and then having love for somebody that never did nothing for you and don't plan on doing nothing for you, and then told you to your face, I don't plan on doing a damn thing for you. So to me, it's like we have been so abused in the past that we don't even know what our abuser looks like, how it sounds, and this lady is trying to go off of a gimmick to be president, and it's like y'all gonna let them do that to you. So personally, I'm trying not to get all emotional about politics, because what we really need to be doing is fixing our own lives and working in our own communities and trying to make it happen for ourselves, because either way, they're not going to be doing the most stuff. And then I didn't realize that Trump did say stuff he did for Black people, which he said he saved the HBCUs. Y'all could tell me if that's a lie or not. But if he did that, that's more than what Kamala was doing. She was putting.
So they had funding that traditionally got renewed on a time schedule every year, and he just extended the time period, and I think he gave them a little bit more than before. So to make it seem like he just came up with that is false, but he did actually do it. And
Well, he did it, so that's what
presidents and all the HBCU presidents to the White House. Obama never had that during his term.
Right. So he does a lot. He does stuff. Like, we got to admit when somebody's right, just admit they're right. It's not about what you thought about them in the past. It's about like what am I looking at right now? I might not like you for nothing, but if you say something that's true, I have to accept that truth, and I have to rearrange my whole brain to accept the truth. But we want to be lied to so bad. We want to listen to what sounds good, and that's not going to work this time. You're just going to find yourself in trouble.
Yeah, you gotta understand too that people just lazy, and they're lazy with their minds. They don't want to do no research. I was having a conversation about this, and I'm guilty of it too. I think before we do anything, we got to do the research. Anybody can tell us anything, right? And we also have to understand how things work, because the president only has so much power. So then that you need to be focused on not only the president, but everybody that you elected in plays a part into how everything turns out. But people just only want to show up just to vote for the president, and then they just putting Democrat, or Republican. Do your research to see what these guys have done, see what their track record has been. I mean, even look to see what uh, Joe Biden was doing when he was with Obama, and then look to see what Kamala was doing and Biden was doing. See who was doing what, and then make a decision off of that. I'm gonna play a little more of this clip, and then we'll hop right into it.
Sadia Massey, someone from Illinois, an unarmed Black woman, was shot the other day in her home by a deputy sheriff. The deputy has since been charged with murder. You've said police would get immunity from prosecution if you win. Why should someone like that officer have immunity? in your opinion?
Immunity?
Immunity.
I don't know the exact case, but I saw something, and it didn't look good to me. It didn't look good to me. Are you talking with the water, right?
Yeah, well, police unions are not backing this person either.
Okay.
But again, why would...
They're going to be charging the officer. I guess they're charging the officer.
So why should he receive immunity?
Well, he might not. I mean, it depends. It depends on what happens. I'm talking about people that are much different cases than that. We need people to protect ourselves. And by the way, in Chicago, as an example, a few weeks ago, July 4th weekend, they had 117 shootings and 17 deaths. Nobody wants that. Nobody wants that. We need to have our police officers have the respect and dignity back. In this particular case, I saw something that didn't look good to me. I didn't like it. I didn't like it at all.
So can you get a little more specific back to the immunity question? Who would make those
Well, right now, for the most part, people are protected by their unions, by their police unions, or by their police departments. But I'm saying if I felt, or if a group of people would feel that somebody was being unfairly prosecuted because the person did a good job maybe with crime, or made a mistake, an innocent mistake. There's a big difference between being a bad person and making an innocent mistake. But if somebody made an innocent mistake, I would want to help that person.
What would those exceptions be? What would determine an innocent
mistake? You go after
mistake?
somebody and it's a very close call and it's very dangerous. And you know, they have, the policeman's life and woman is a very difficult thing because sometimes you have less than a second to make a life and death decision.
You're an active man. We see you golfing all the time. But if you win, you'll still be president at 82, which is older than Biden is right now.
But not mentally. Look, mentally.
Here's the question.
He's shot. But most people.
Would you consider?
Most people. I know many people in their 80s and their 90s that are in great shape. Some of our greatest leaders. You look at throughout the world history, the greatest leaders, some of the greatest leaders in the world were in their 80s.
But here's the question. Would you consider stepping down if you felt that your health was declining? Or would you?
Oh, absolutely.
And who would
I think I'd know.
How would you make that decision?
I think I'd know. Look, if I came onto a stage like this and I got treated so rudely as this woman treated me.
Oh, my goodness.
And I'm fine with it because she was very rude, sir. Very rude. That wasn't a question. She didn't ask me a question. She gave a statement. That wasn't a question.
I repeated your statement, sir, actually.
You said you would. You would
Oh,
make that
absolutely.
decision
If I
to step
thought
down.
that I was failing in some way, I want people to be sharp. I'll go a step further. I want anybody running for president to take an aptitude test, to take a cognitive test. I think it's a great idea. And I took 2 of them and I aced them.
What can I do about January 6th? You've called yourself the candidate of law and order. Yeah. When Time magazine asked you if you would consider pardoning all the rioters, you said, yes, absolutely.
Sure.
You called them patriots. 140 police officers were assaulted that day. Their injuries included broken bones, at least 1 officer lost an eye, 1 had 2 cracked ribs, 2 smashed spinal discs, another had a stroke. Were the people who assaulted those 140 officers, including those I just mentioned, patriots who deserve pardons?
Well, let me bring it back to modern day. Like about 5 days ago, we had an attack on the Capitol, a horrible attack on the Capitol. You saw the people that were protesting and spraying these incredible monuments, bells, lions, all these magnificent limestone and granite with red paint, red spray paint, that will never actually come off, especially in the limestone. It will never, I'm a builder, I know about this stuff. It'll never, you'll see it in 100 years from now. They viciously attacked our government. They fought with police. They fought with them much more openly than I saw on January 6th. What's going to happen to those people? What's going to happen to the people in Portland that destroyed that city?
But sir, my question is on those.
What's going to happen to the people that tried to
My question is on those rioters who assaulted officers.
You have to
would you pardon
what's
those
going to
people?
happen? Oh, absolutely, I would.
You would pardon those?
If they're innocent, I would pardon them.
They've been convicted.
And by the way, the Supreme Court just well, they were convicted by a very tough system. How come the people that tried to burn down Minneapolis, how come the people that took over a large percentage of Seattle, how come nothing happened to them? How come the people
But sir, we're talking about people that were seen beating officers with flag poles.
First of all, come on, Donald Trump. Come on now, dog. They haven't been convicted yet. You just said you're a partner. You can only pardon somebody. But even so, this is what I mean when I say you get caught up in the bullshit. Who cares what? Like, okay, I get that it speaks to his character. I get it. If you say you're willing to pardon certain people and all of that, but god damn it, man, that was like talk about what we need. That should have been the whole goddamn. We should have been hitting his ass across his head with everything we need. Not come in, man. We need this from you. We need that from you. We need that. You want our vote, and the crowd would have been roaring behind them every time we listed another thing we needed. And y'all want to talk about how he felt about the goddamn rioters? We know how he feels about them. It ain't no fucking secret. Who cares? You brought him here to find out what he gonna do for us. I don't give a shit how he felt about the fucking rioters. Oh my
I think
god,
you're making a good point, Marcus. Can I say something real quick?
Yeah, go ahead.
Marcus was making a good point. I'm sorry. Yeah, not Marcus. I'm sorry. Sweeney's making a good point. That what am I gonna say? That instead of us asking people what's the agenda, we need to already have in our mind what we want, and just be like, when it comes to this, we need this. Will you be able to do that? Because they got this whole thing thinking like, well, we ain't got to do nothing but say, we go feed them some chicken and dance, and then they'll vote for you, or some ghetto thing in their mind that they don't have to do anything for Black people. It's so evident that they have that. So we have to come up with our own agenda and hold them to it.
I think the lady in the blue, I think she did exactly what she was supposed to do. I think all three of those ladies on there had their questions that they were going to ask and focus on from whatever part of our community that they think we want. And I think the girl in the blue, she addressed, like we said earlier, the emotions and the certain things that's been going on that people I've been passionate about. I don't think she was rude to him. And I think that Donald Trump handled her real because he's very much as rude too. I think Donald Trump is a very smart person. He's funny. But I think I don't trust him based on Project 25. That's my thing with Donald Trump. I don't like the rudeness. He's very rude. And I think that he got on that platform from her, what he's been giving a lot of people, including Biden, when he goes out there and he does a shit show in an interview. So I don't feel sorry for Donald Trump on that. And I think the only reason why he brought up that they started late is because he didn't like how she did say, thank you, Donald Trump, for being here and giving us an hour of your time. That was her way of saying that she greeted him. Probably wasn't enough. Definitely could have did better. But I feel like she did greet him when she said, thank you for an hour of your time before she said, let's jump right into it. So I think she handled it well. And I just don't feel sorry for Donald Trump. And I think he handled her well because usually Donald Trump gets out of character. But I feel like that he felt like he needs the Black vote as well. So he needs to contain himself. So I was really impressed with how he handled that interview. The other girls that asked questions, he didn't answer it. He jumped around it and he deflected like he always does.
Okay. That was a balanced response. Go ahead, Casey. I know you said you wanted to the video.
Oh yeah. So just going back to the beginning, having a hosting and journalistic background, I was very put off by the reporter, the journalist in the blue. I think, like Trev said, you get more bees with honey and not vinegar. And if she wanted to jump right into it, I think she could have been so warm. And the first thing she could have asked him is, Donald Trump, why you in 2024? Why should we choose you? If you're interviewing a person, I think the best thing you need to do is focus on who they are, why they are there. But bringing up Kamala being a DEI hire, I know that a lot of people would like to know that answer, but you could have gotten to that down the road a few minutes into the conversation and ease your way into it after he was comfortable with talking to you. If you turn a person off within the first 2 sentences, the wall is up, the guard is up, they're in fight mode, and they're not going to give you anything at all. The lady in the black in the middle, she had a more balanced approach to him. She leaned in, she seemed more sincere. But I kind of felt like the lady in the blue just came off as stereotypical black woman with every other race thinks of us, hostile, impatient, hard nosed, trying to play hardball with a man type vibe. At the end of the day, he is a former president. So, and he's a man, right? So, as a woman, those two things being on that stage would be the thing sitting right here on my mind, and also making sure I protect my reputation and my job, that I would want to be used in the future in other situations like this, right? So, the professionalism would be right up here, and the respect factor would be right up here, but I'm still going to do my job in a respectable way. To me, a lot of times their interaction really gave Love and Hip Hop reunion vibes. It gave, I want to get down to the nitty gritty. You had the audience, hey, 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 like it was not giving. This is the upper crust. Like let's Donald, you need to rise to our occasion. We're gonna treat you with the utmost respect, and we want you to come back, but we have to take care of business. But just like in your home, right? You have standards in your home, but you want people to want to come back to your home. If you treat them badly, they're not going to want to come back, and they're not going to be comfortable while they're there. So that's how I felt. But the lady in the black, I like the way she asked the questions, and also the lady in the pink on the far end, she was a little more sincere and controlled with the way she asked questions as well.
All right. Yes.
Yeah. So I think that he kind of danced around the Sonya Messi thing, because he didn't want to upset his base by condemning a police officer. And that's a huge issue, because when something is wrong, especially like that in a charged scenario like that, he needs to be able, if you want to be the president, to say, or president again, to say, hey, this is an issue. We're not standing for this. And that officer will be charged along with anybody else who does, just becomes trigger happy and kills someone. The qualified immunity question, that's one of the biggest things that would be effective in our community, especially with the history of the violence with the police. So just to get them a carte blanche to do whatever they want and not be held accountable, that's a huge problem, like a huge problem. I get the idea of wanting to figure out a way to curb violence, or to do, preventative measures and giving people more leeway. But it's kind of been proven that more police or police violence doesn't equate to lower numbers in crime. It's the things that happen before crime occurs that equate to lower numbers in crime, like better schooling. So that plan has to be well thought out before, like what happens today. It's really about what happened 3 to 4 to 5 years ago to push that person into that. So I don't think police reform and allowing them to be more brutal is the way. I think that's an antiquated idea from a time when people glorize cops on them shows where they just call somebody, beat them up, and then set them on their way, and then the community just was intact because the police was just out there. Like that time is done. That time is done. I think they need to have more comprehensive social service measures for people to stop them from reoffending or offending initially. Again, I really wish though the ladies would have asked questions about tangibles. It's a wasted opportunity. It really is. They could have just lived like under the premise he is a racist white man. Now ask your questions. Just, you believe you're a racist white man, just operate like you're a racist white man. Now I asked your questions. Like whether he like you know what I'm saying? I don't care at the bank if the person who give me my money like me or not. Just give me what I'm cashing my check for, or what I'm supposed to be in my drop. So yeah, I think it was a missed opportunity.
You're muted.
You're on mute.
I was saying, go ahead, T. I see you want to say something.
Yeah, I think that he is kind of walking the line especially with that question, I feel like she asked him about police immunity and he didn't exactly answer it. But then he also said that he would give immunity to the people that was beating up the police. And she said that, like, rioters beat up the police. And he said, well, we don't know. Like, I think that he's very ambiguous in that way. And I think that what's more important is that his policies haven't necessarily disadvantaged Black people in that way. And I think when it comes to tangibles, they could have asked him about his plan. He had a $500 billion plan for Black people that is available and easy, access that you could read. He had actual tangibles that he wrote up during his presidency. So there were things that they could ask him about. And I'm also curious why, this was the Black Journalist Convention. Why wouldn't Kamala come? Because there's not going to be probably really a debate between them. And this would have been a great opportunity for both of them to speak to the Black community, to maybe debate or, to both speak to the Black community. So I feel like it speaks volumes that's where he chose to spend his time. And then Kamala, where she chose to spend her time and the things that she gave us, a hip hop concert, versus an interview and answers and tangibles and things. So I don't know. I think that's valid on some levels that he came to speak to Black journalists.
See, they should have had Roland Martin on that stage. It would have went way different.
Or Tyreek Nasheed or Yvette Carnell.
Mark
I'm saying Roland is an actual journalist. He should have been on that stage.
Yeah, I think it would have been great to have an actual journalist, an economist, a political activist. A number of people on that stage that would have been able to fully flesh out what is needed by us. And even if he didn't have a full comprehensive plan, he would have at least had an idea of what we needed from him. And he would have had to, and if we would have held his feet to the fire, you can actually force him to address some of those things and go back to the drawing board if need be. But asking a person about how he felt about, I feel like it was a squandered opportunity. I feel like that was the perfect time to put our needs on the national stage.
It was a squandered opportunity, and it was a play into the trope and stereotype that Black people are emotional and can't be manipulated in that way, that you could bulldog and show them who's boss and, get with them kind of thing that they expect from Black women. And that will be moved by that. We didn't hear anything useful to our community. We didn't ask any valid questions, but, we let them know kind of thing. And that's not useful.
All right. Trev, did you speak on this already?
For the first video, I could say a couple things. So I certainly agree with the sentiment of Sweeney. They absolutely dropped the ball, like big time. There's so many things that we could have asked, so many direct questions that we missed from this. And who knows if we're going to get another opportunity like this. Like, he could just be seriously turned off and not even be like, damn, we came to Black people to talk, to see what's going on, and this is what they give us. And it's not a good look. So that's a major issue. I seriously have a problem though with him saying, he didn't even say qualified immunity when, he didn't say that to us per se, but if you watch the rallies and stuff, he'll actually mention complete immunity, which is problematic and scary as hell to Black people, because when we're on the side of the road in the sticks and we understand that particular individual or individuals have complete power over us, can do whatever they want without any consequence. Guess what? Some of those people will. And we do not want to see anything like that. So it's crazy. And what I do notice is that Trump is very conscious of him being clipped up. He's been in the media long enough, and he knew that everything he said would be clipped. So with that, he held back and he tried to teeter-totter, try to walk the line as much as he can. It definitely was different than what he would have spoken like at the rallies, but he knows it's going to be clipped because the same media that's pushing him to see how he's going to react to black people and gaslighting him into that situation off rip. That was strategic. Nobody can tell me any different that she didn't do that on purpose to set it off and get this man angry. Because listen, I'm not a professional journalist, but what I do understand is that if I'm going to interview someone, I know how to set the tone from the beginning. And based on how this starts out is where the interview is going to go. So what she did was absolutely gaslighting. She expected it to go bad. She wanted to say, look, this is how he feels about black people. Watch this. He ain't messing with us. She obviously has some sort of agenda. And I wish she were on the far right and one of the other ladies were on the left so they could have got to it and had a much more productive interview. But some of those things are stupid. Like, why were you asking him about the rioters and stuff? I get that was a big deal, but that's not going to help us right now. That's not doing anything. So no matter how he feels about it, no matter what answer he could have possibly given for it, would have helped us get into a better place than where we are right now. There's no way we could have got a policy out of that. What was that going to do? How was that going to help? What is her thought process even asking that question? You know, it's not about being productive. What do you think he was going to get out of that? And that's what we have to ask ourselves sometimes. We have to be careful of who we have as our leaders and people who we have to represent us, right? I don't think that they should have been the ones doing it. They showed their ass on that one. And it shouldn't have been them because it could have went so much better. And I don't care if you were going to hold his feet to the fire, but do it on issues that we care about. Something that's going to be for the advancement of black people. So we ain't getting reparations. I don't care what anybody says. Nobody's going to do it. Republican, Democrat, or independent, it's not going to happen. They ain't doing it for us. If you ain't realized it yet, yeah. And ask any politician about it, and they never agree to it. Nobody's going to do that. However,
Marianne Williamson did.
Yeah,
I've already done it before.
Anybody who's going to win an election, they ain't going to win on that. So it's not going to happen. But it doesn't mean that. So if we get that out the way and we understand that, what else are you going to do? Are you going to make it so you can write some policies that can at least help right the wrong? Can you make it easier for us? Are we going to have more opportunities for black people? Are you going to protect black neighborhoods? Different things like that. What are we doing to help our communities? That's what we need, right? And it's not going to be in the form of just straight, okay, this person's going to get 50,000 or what. It's not going to happen that way. The best that we can look forward to is for them to actually put some policies in place that are going to protect our communities and be for the advancement of it. Go ahead.
They've been doing state level reparations. It's like they did it at Evanston here. It wasn't much
on the federal level. You said on the state level, right?
Yeah, they've been doing research and funding on the federal level for a while. Like it just hasn't come to fruition. I'm not going to it does seem unlikely, but politics a funny game, and leverage is the ideal thing, because that'd be like Israel saying we want y'all to fund a war over here, and people like that's never going to happen. Or
no, we knew that was going to happen. You know how much money's in war?
Yeah, but basically what he's saying though is as a group, we can leverage and get the things that we need, because every group does it. Yes. You know, every single other group leverages their vote. They leverage their political capital in every way they can to get the things that they want and need from the government. So all we can say is you got to keep the fight up. You can still always be an agenda item. It can always be a demand. And honestly, you want to know what's crazy? The person I convinced, the person I found the easiest to convince on the need for reparations for black people was a staunch, racist, conservative white man. He was the first one I was able to convince in conversation. After I nailed it home and talked about the wealth gap and went down the line with him and how I was able to draw a line from slavery all the way to today, after I fleshed all that out for him, he was like, damn, you know what? You're right. We do have something that we do as a country have to pay for that. So it's not impossible, but when you have people, the problem is that We have people who are very ignorant to the topic, who don't know enough, going into space and speaking about it. And then what happens is it gets muddy and don't nobody, and then you know what I mean? That's what I've noticed that happens. But damn, Trev. Oh, what I wanted to say to you, Trev, though, was that somebody asked a real good question in the chat. They said, why weren't no black men up there?
Because I think it was a woman's journalist thing. I think it was.
It was the Black National Journalistic Association, wasn't it? I would assume there was some black men that'll be a part of that.
I seen the list. It's black men that are lifetime members on that list. I don't know why they didn't ask them, but
okay.
I wanted to
you know what that is.
I wanted to answer, well, kind of like a comment that Sweeney and Trev had mentioned about you guys not understanding why she asked him about how he felt about the rioters. Well, she definitely was trying to gaslight him, but she was trying to stump him. But she was asking him, and I don't know if I'm the only one that got that, because what I got from that was, oh, I see what she's doing. He said that he wanted to give immunity to police officers that were wrong. And she was bringing up the rioters and how the police officers were beating them, assaulting them. And she was basically saying, you saying it's okay to give immunity to these people when rioters are peacefully rioting, but they're still getting assaulted. That's what she was trying to do. And that's why he played it safe and didn't say anything, because she said that right after they were talking about immunity for police officers. So that's why she was asking him.
She's
trying
asking
to say, you
about
don't care?
the rioters beating police. She said that rioters were beating police officers. She was asking
what she was doing was proving his bias towards a specific group and showing that when it's them committing the crime, he don't want nothing done. In fact, he want immunity. And when it's another group of people, he want the police to move with impunity and them to have immunity. It's so much bias. We all can agree that, I mean, he is what he is.
How I would have asked that question though, because basically what it was that she asked him, okay, so you believe that those people were patriots, right? And he pivoted. He was like, oh, well, he was like, he started talking about the people who rioted and painted the goddamn monuments or something like that. My question to him would have been, so are you saying that you will also give them immunity as well because they're being patriotic? That would have been my very next question. If that would have been something I would have talked about. I'm not talking about none of that shit, but since it did come up in conversation, that would have been a question I would have asked afterwards was, okay, if you see what they did on Washington as patriotic and that you would give them immunity, are you also saying that you would give these people who painted these statues and things like that immunity as well because they were just being patriots?
All right, we got to pivot, y'all. You guys just tuning in. Welcome to Lapeef Let's Talk. Hit that like button. Also, make sure you subscribe to the channel. These are these super chats. AP Accountability Partner $20 says, I love Casey. Ricky, what's going on, brother? 499 Democratic Party to blacks. Hear what we think about you. Gina, 789 says, Chanel, just having a conversation. Calm down.
Thanks.
AP Accountability Partner $5 says, for the record, Chanel, Kamala spent a lot of her youth in Canada. With all due respect, you know less than you think you do, man.
Never said I knew a lot. But
I ain't going
you.
nowhere. $2 Chanel is the reason why women shouldn't vote.
Hey.
They ain't going nowhere. $2 says, close our borders, save black jobs. Trump 2024 ain't going nowhere again. $2 says, black people prove again that CPT is real. Trump 24 ain't going nowhere. $2. Trump became racist when white liberals said so. BZ, I have a question for the ladies on the panel, if you don't mind, JR. What do you claim first? Are you a black first or a woman first?
Can you ask the whole panel? I'm sorry.
Asking because the way women talk some days, I don't know.
Including the man, that's what I was saying. Can you ask everybody?
Yeah. So everybody just say black first or man or woman first. Go ahead, Trey.
Man first.
Casey?
Black first.
Man first.
I said black first.
I said man first for me.
Oh, got it. Black first.
Black first. Go ahead. Sweeney?
Black first.
Black first.
Go ahead, Coco.
Woman first.
Black first.
I'm black first, but in these spaces, I'm a woman first.
You got it decorated, huh? All right, well, there you go.
Code switching.
Well, in the manosphere, you have to be a woman first, but in the real world, I'm black first.
All right. I ain't going nowhere. $5, Marcus. It's all part of the plan. Migrants are here to replace the black voting base, courtesy of Democrats, and black women will be used to. AP, $10 says, you really want to get upset regarding HBCUs. What was signed was the second draft with a smaller amount. Look up who blocked the first draft. Hint, she's running for president and went to a HBCU. AP, $5 says, information is out there. Look it up. We have to be educated. Salute, Brother Marcus. Strong arm emoji. What's going on, Del Will? Member for 29 months. Says, now rolling sassier than any other journalist on the stage. Yvette Carnell.
I would like to retract my statement of bringing up Roland Martin.
Thank you.
Mills,
Roland Martin would have.
$36 says, all women look good tonight, JR. What a scrap.
Chanel, can I ask you a question? When did you determine, have you always felt that way, or did it come a point where you switched?
Switch with what?
To like be woman first as opposed to black first?
I feel like I was born and my gender was called first. So I came into this world as a girl, as female.
Do you also recognize the women that transition to women as like women as well?
Oh no.
Well, I'm just curious.
I recognize exactly how you come into this world when you were born. I truly believe in that. I believe in DNA. I believe in all of that estrogen and testosterone. I don't believe in all that extra stuff afterwards. I believe you are who you are when you are born into this world. Now you have the choice to change and be who you want. But when you ask someone, how do you identify yourself first? I'm identifying myself the way I came into this world. And I was born as a female. I was born a girl.
So you would align with like white women before black men?
I am really big on women's rights. I'm really big on that. So I wouldn't say white women come before black men, but I would say that as a woman, there are some things that all women share regardless of the race. I kind of looked on a bigger picture.
Holy shit.
All right.
I got a question. So you're not going to ask the men why they chose male before they chose black? Or is it just a problem when the females say it? I'm just confused about that.
Oh, well.
You can ask the question. That's what I was curious about. You can be curious about what you want to be curious
No,
about.
I wanted to know what you were thinking. So I wanted to know, it's only a concern to you because you're the one who posed the question because she said it, but there were men on the panel who also said it. So
Did I say it was a concern, or did I ask her a question?
No, right. So because
educated.
I liked your question, and I thought it would be for everybody. And I was just wondering, in your mind, not right or wrong, I was just wondering, in your mind, is it only a concern when the woman, or is it's a question directly for you?
Okay, so the question for me, the answer would be, I was curious why she said woman first. That is as simple as that. I think Trev would choose black women over white men. I honestly believe that, and I think anybody else who said black men first would choose black men over white, or white women over men. I honestly believe it, but I didn't know her position. But we can ask Trev the same question: would you align yourself with white men before black women?
Absolutely not.
Yeah, I kind of
JR?
Nope. He said black first. Oh no, he said
man first.
No, he said men first.
Yeah.
You would align yourself with white men over black women?
No.
There you have it.
I feel like
And that's a good question because
that way though. Some of us answered thinking that if basically you gave an answer opposite to what the answer to that question is. Or am I making an assumption?
Yeah, no, you're right. But I
Well,
also
that's two different. That's two different questions now. Because if you're asking what do I consider myself first versus who am I aligned with, is completely different. Those are two different questions.
Like, yeah, I guess he's right. Because if you ask him what is your politics, is it man first or black first? That's a different question. Versus what do you consider yourself, man first or black first? Don't nod your head, Chanel, because you said you align your politics with white women too. So don't you nod your head.
Look at what we have to do with. Look what we have to do with. We really don't know if Kamala's black. You know, we really don't know. So we got a woman that may be black or not black. We got a president that's white that has
I'm not letting you have it.
tendencies that's racist. So my thing is, look, I'm going for the woman. Because of woman, right? So that's why I'm identifying myself in this campaign. It ain't got nothing to do with black or
We ain't even asked you about Kamala. We just asked you about you.
Now y'all know I love Kamala now. So I was just saying, identify myself as far as if we keep it to the subject about the campaign and with politics. You know, I would identify myself in this race as support for the woman, nothing to do with race or anything like that.
Oh Lord! But we're talking about politics, though.
We gotta
so
keep it
this
moving.
whole context is politics. That's why I don't understand how it all shifted. Because when we were voting for Obama, we had to ask ourselves, are we black first or woman first? We had to do this already. So I assume that everybody answered based off of politics and not personal.
Oh no, I answered.
Well, we never had a woman candidate like this, you know, and it's we had Clinton, which I was team for her too, but that's a whole nother thing. But it's you know, it's the different policies, what we all want to have done. Obviously, nothing ever gets done that we all want. So we gotta M. White, I forgot, I'm sorry, but like he said, is look at what your policy is and run with it. So there's things about me that I'm passionate about that's aligned, and they just happen to be aligned under Kamala, who is, you know, the vice president running for it. It's Project 25. There are some stuff that I am like, that's dope.
All right, so
there's some stuff that is like, I'm concerned.
I got one quick question for Chanel. Just one quick one. In a world where you had the choice to make women the highest earners out of everybody, women out earn everybody in the entire world, would you choose that, or would you choose the men to be the higher earners?
Wouldn't that be the president of the United States if Kamala won, though?
So you want women to be the highest earners? I'm saying in general, like all women, all men. Would you choose that?
See, that's a little different because when it comes to gender roles, I don't know if he's on the first one. When it comes to gender roles, I don't care. I'm not trying to make more money than the man, and I think the man's supposed to make more money because he's the one that's going to spend the most. So that's a little something different.
Wait, hold on. Wait a minute.
I'm just like,
we gotta move on. We gotta move on, sweetie. After hours or after everything over.
I thought this was segue right into that topic.
No, we about to switch gears, man, off of politics for a second.
No, I thought this when we was about to go into was going to segue right into that. Well, I was going to segue right into that topic.
Well, no,
we're not talking about Megan dancing on stage.
I was gonna get.
Oh my God.
I was trying to get.
Oh no! You said we coming off of politics. I don't want to see our ass dancing on Kamala stage. I'm good on that.
Yeah, we're gonna come back to.
Are we gonna go back to that, right? Because I want to add a question about that when we get done.
Got a question about what?
But I don't understand what the race has anything to do with it. I was just confused.
Okay, well, we're gonna come back to it. Let's go ahead and put that in the back chat so we can table it. Put it in the parking lot, and then we'll come back out. We're gonna talk about men understanding a woman's body.
I can go get some D and I'm not finna call you, gonna pick me up. I don't want to pay for an Uber, come get me. And then I'm gonna give you some coochie as soon as we get back home. I promise I am. Because men have this perception that a woman's coochie gets loose when she has sex. If we have sex, my coochie is gonna be tighter because it's irritated, I guess. It's been penetrated. It's not gonna feel looser, so you're gonna get in there and really she's gonna feel tighter because it done been hit already. So I can sleep with you and go home and have sex. You're not gonna know. You won't.
That sucks.
Okay, I don't usually do this, but let me go ahead and clarify the last clip on my page. First of all, that was not my experience. That was not my scenario. That is not an experience that I have had. But you would have to watch the whole episode to understand. Number 2, I don't know if you know it or not, but this thing is a muscle. We have the capability of pushing out 10-pound babies. And although you may be well and endowed, a couple of ounces really doesn't have anything on a 10-pound baby. It's a muscle. It does snap back. And I stand on that for most women, not all, clearly. Nonetheless, moving along. Number 3, I say that to say people can come to you with much logic that seems to make sense, to prove why they're not cheating on you, or they haven't done anything behind your back, but they're usually lying. People who have to brag about, see, you didn't find anything in my phone, or I went to sleep with Jack, Jack's married. Nobody cares. People who brag and boast about how you haven't caught them are usually lying. Another thing, men can't out cheat women, maybe from a quantity standpoint, but not necessarily from a sneaky standpoint. Women will take things to the grave. I've talked to women who have slept with their side dudes while their main dudes were in the bathroom, or had their side dudes and their main dudes working and playing basketball together and moving furniture. Don't be naive to think these things can't happen to you because of who you are, because these things are actually literally happening. Being naive is probably why these STD rates are so high. Georgia being number 2 in the top states, with Louisiana being number 1 and New York being number 3. Ask for paperwork. It's okay to get tested, but just don't be so naive to think you know everything that's going on, because we live in a wicked world. Find someone you love and you can trust and lock in, because
That's a topic, man. Way off from politics, man. But but go ahead, M. White. What are your thoughts about that, man?
Women really think they sneaky, huh? They really think they sneaky.
I don't even understand why she's saying that. Like, ooh, I mean, I guess you know a couple of tramps or two, but that's a lot.
They really not that sneaky. They make the same stupid ass decisions and stupid ass mistakes men do. The only difference is men don't go looking every 5 seconds. Like,
that's a good point.
They don't go. Look. They make the same. What technology do women have that men don't have? They make the same stupid mistakes in their phone. They make the same. They put people under the same name as, like, oh, I'm gonna put it under my nail tech instead of under my under the person's name. They do the same stupid shit that we do. The only difference is we don't go through your phone.
Back it up with the numbers.
Oh yeah, women cheat just as much as men do. We know this. And we all, like, if somebody's adamant on catching, you're gonna get caught. It is what it is. When your man starts to pay attention to shit that started turning up differently, you're gonna get caught. That's how you get caught. As long as you're not looking, you're not gonna get caught. Men are less likely to look than women are. That's why y'all don't get caught as much.
Women and men are
if a woman didn't catch a man, he'll take that shit to his grave too. If she didn't catch him, he would take it to his grave. Matter of fact, he would try to take us to his grave even if you did catch him. You can have him dead to rights, he's gonna still try to lie to you.
I know you caught me on the bathroom counter, sleeping on the bathroom floor.
It wasn't me.
Picture this, we was both butt naked, sexing on the bathroom floor. How did I forget that I had women and men are not equal?
Like, he was still trying to take it to his grave.
To get a deal, record deal or something?
Oh, I was kind of getting it. I was kind of getting it. Cultural appropriation.
I was waiting for you to finish, Marcus.
All right, so women and men are not equal. Women and men are not equal. Women and men are not equal. If you try and out cheat men, you're gonna hurt yourself more than you're gonna hurt that man. You're gonna hurt yourself more than you're gonna hurt that man. You're gonna hurt yourself more than you're gonna hurt that man. You can go stand on the corner and fuck 100 dudes. Yes, this is true. While the man can go stand on the corner and probably won't fuck 100 women. You got it. You win that game. But ultimately, we are wired differently. We want different things, and that would not be a sufficient life for a woman. Hopefully, you get paid and you can just retire as a prostitute. But that's all you'll be for the rest of your life after you stand in that corner and fuck 100 men. This is a dumb take by her. If she wants to talk about how easy it is for her to cheat, we all understood that. What's hard is for you to get in relationships with men who want to stay with you for long-term periods of time. That's the challenge. Women have never had a challenge having sex. The challenge is, do you have a man? Are you married? Like that. That's the hard part. That's the thing that people struggle with, you know? And yeah, her pushing that agenda or making it okay to fuck whoever you want. Look, when I was young, shout out to her and all the women who think like her. They made for a very interesting life in my early 20s and my teenage years. They made everything lit. We looked for them. The first thing I hit me is where the hoes at. All of that shit is how life was. But I didn't marry them. Keep it a bean. That's not who I would have married. I was like, thanks, y'all. I'm gonna go retire from fucking with y'all, and I'm gonna go this way. I turned into a good guy, like how you turn black. I turned into a good guy, and then I just start doing the right things.
Well,
Um,
let me ask this question for the men. Like, does it feel different when you find out your girl is cheating? Like, can
I
you
don't have the
tell?
experience to know, so I can't even answer that
I
question.
could, I could, I could
I don't
kind of,
know. I thought
I
you
could
had
kind of help you with
your
that.
Playboy days.
I did, but I
I
ain't
could
never
kind of
liked
help you.
nobody that was a cheater.
I can kind of help you with that answer. So, right, okay. So dudes, they can kind of tell where they stand because we have metrics for this. People like women call it all the time. They're looking for such and such size, this, that, and all that. Right? Women, for the most part, from my experience, and I have quite a bit of experience, don't have any idea where they stand. They don't know. A lot of women will be like, yeah, I'm grippy, I'm tight, yeah. You know what I tell them, man?
That was
Listen,
a lie.
it's cat. They don't know. They have no idea. They have no damn idea. They don't know where they stand. I'll promise you. And from what former scumbag here, just in case I didn't know, females will tell me, they'll be like, nah, I'm gonna have to top you off because he's gonna know, right? And the reason they know that is because they've had that experience. Dudes will fall in. Dudes will understand that. And if you think about it, let's say you smashed a chick earlier in the morning and then later on in the afternoon, it's not going to be the same as it was in the morning time, right? If you had a decent session, then yeah, it's still going to be cool, but you're probably going to know. So men will know sometimes, especially if you're going behind somebody who's not as endowed, you're going to have problems. You know, there is a fall-in thing, and a lot of females will shut you down or make you improvise one way or the other to avoid their man finding out what's going on. That's just what it is. So that is absolutely true. You will have different. It seemed like I tried to really dive back as if she wasn't engaging in this type of activity. She obviously does. Boy, know what he doing. I've watched his interviews, and he chicks a lit and starts saying anything. And you could tell that she was very sober when
Trev,
she had her.
your internet going out, bro. You just skipping in and out. Is it
My
me?
bad.
Hey, we literally caught every other
It's
word, but that
probably
shit
me.
was
That
funny.
shit sounded crazy.
Hold
But
on.
I thought it was
It
my
did.
fault too.
yeah,
You
yeah.
gotta make it.
But Trev,
He's
this
good.
fall
I
in.
know.
This fall in, bro. Like that fall in. If anything, too tight might be an issue. Like that fall in, I ain't
For
ever
what?
like.
Okay, bro, you're 6'7". I get it, but guess what? There are guys who aren't, and it's different for different people. Listen, I've never fell in anything either. But what I'm saying is, you never been that guy on the back end of it. You never been that guy on the back end of it. If you were the guy on that back end of it,
Pause.
no, like let's keep. Okay, pause. Whatever. We talking, right? All I'm telling you is that I never fell in anything either. I get it. But you ain't been that guy following the 6'7" guy or 6'5" guy. You ain't been that guy following him. If you was that guy following him, your ass probably would have fell in too. It is what it is. And that's real life, right? And a lot of times when women cheat, they go for somebody else who might be a little more well endowed, equipped, whatever. And guess what? That second dude, if he try to go behind her, he gonna fall in. He gonna be like, damn, this ain't what it do. And he's gonna know. So women, just so you know, he's gonna know.
Trev, you sound like that old meme where the white dude say, "They're not gonna know. They're gonna know. They're not gonna know. They're not gonna know."
I know. I was being funny. No, I was doing that on purpose. You caught it.
Holy
Yeah.
shit.
Even after kids, this shit still be good. Like,
That's what I was gonna ask.
How
Like,
soon?
I don't have.
How soon?
I've never had kids before,
they
but I
got
heard
years
like
for
women
that
after
shit.
kids it feels different.
But when they get pregnant, it be extra fire.
I heard that.
Yeah, but that's before. That's beforehand.
That's
She was
before the
talking
baby
about like
come
in the
out.
same night. She said
Yeah,
she could
yeah,
go
but
back
they
to
start
like, in the same
dilating
night.
and enlarging like before the baby come. Some people use sex to bring the baby down, like to try and get they.
Yeah, I know. I was
It get better.
I was
during the
instructed
pregnancy.
to do that by the doctor. I understand that, but what I'm saying is she was talking about running from one dude to the other in the same night. That's what she said specifically.
She was
And
talking
I'm
about
telling
yeast
you, if you
infection.
try-
Is what that shit sounded like. She had
well,
a
she probably experienced that, but she was talking about how her joint was still grippy after the dude wouldn't know. But I'm just gonna tell you, they're gonna know.
All right, go ahead, Shan.
That is not a subject. I am I don't subscribe to whoredom, so I'm sorry.
Come on.
I don't know.
I was like clutching my pearls.
Oh, yes. Back to back. Disgusting. I'm just like, no, it is disgusting though. I don't know what men feel. I don't know if they know if it's cheating or not because I'm not one of them, and I've not tried it myself, so it would be hard for me to speak on that. But as far as yeast infections are concerned, I think somebody brought that up. Just understand that also happens if a man has sex with multiple women and he brings it back to. So it can happen both ways. So maybe she's not the cheat and he is, and he had sex with somebody else, and then he came to her. That too can cause an issue. So
how do you do this, Shanette? Like, Shan, how? How do you do this? How we can be clearly talking about a woman trying to get away with cheating, and somehow, some way, you flipped that shit, flipped it, dipped it, and said, "Let's talk about the man cheating."
Listen, first of all, Sweeney, I learned from you because you're the king of taking somebody's word and then starting another conversation with it. So let's not do that.
You ain't never seen me do that.
I was following you. I'm just an apprentice in your world, okay? I'm just.
You ain't never seen me do that shit.
So, no, that's nasty. I don't know what she got going on there. Ladies, keep your legs closed. Keep your legs. I don't know. These women, I think that people think that all women are the same. We're not. So there's no way I can understand what she's saying because I don't move like she moves. I never have been a person who moves like she moves. If she says that's what happens, okay, I don't know. So
it's some like real.
Even if you wasn't the one, you got a homegirl or two.
I don't hang.
Everybody has a wretched home friend.
Say it. I know exactly what you're about to say.
Together. Absolutely not.
Say it for me, Casey.
And if she is, she keeps it to herself.
Say it for me, Casey. Guess what I was about to say, and I'd agree or disagree.
They got some real wild freaks out here right under your nose that you think you don't know them, but you know them.
And they should be fired, knowing that they going. They could be. They have a bomb, and they not shy with. They pass that shit out like communion crackers and shit. And that should still be fired, no matter when you fight. Oh no.
Okay, I have a question because I have a best friend, and he's a guy, and we had this conversation a few weeks ago. We talk a few times a year, but we were talking, and he went through a divorce, and he has this new girl he's dating for the last 6 months. But he was like, I know she messing with somebody else because the sex is different. She's moving different all of a sudden. And I was like, well, why couldn't she have just came up with something different? Y'all have been messing around for 6-7 months. Like maybe she want to do something different. But he said a man know when a girl is doing something different in sex that she got it from another man or she was doing it with another man.
So here's why that may or may not like. So I can see that. So I believe in like domination. So it's a role you're gonna play where you get instructed to do certain things, right? And through that role, I will be instructing you. So that it will have to come from me because I'm telling you what to do. So maybe if she came back knowing how to do the double twist and she don't watch porn, then yeah, that might be an issue. You know what the double twist is, right, Chanel?
Yeah, I know Jill Scott. I know Jill Scott did that.
Okay.
So
Okay.
I call it the pepper cracker.
Okay. Yeah.
Y'all ever say somebody
because everybody talking about it, like she can pretty much come home and say, "This is what I'm gonna do today. I'm gonna do this today." I've done that before, but I never was accused that I got it from. Like it wasn't like he asked me, like, "Where'd you get that from?"
If she ain't got no cosmopolitan magazines in the house or nothing like that, then you know damn well she learned.
I don't watch porn. I'm being honest with you. I haven't watched porn since I was probably like 10, 15 years ago one time. But like I don't watch porn. Like I didn't even know X had porn until about a month ago. I tried to go on there and right before I clicked on the link, it was like this is unusual activity because I guess I've never been on it before on my own phone. But now I see it all the time and I'd be like, oh, that's a lot of stuff that can come across social media that you don't have to have, porn at home and stuff,
Chanel, I also think it's a possibility that it could have taken her that long to get comfortable with him, to show him some certain things in the bedroom as well, right? Because 6 months is not that long depending on the woman, they may not
And
even having sex the whole 6 months. So if she's
And-
getting more and more comfortable, they're getting more emotionally connected. She may
And if
be
he came
more
off judgmental,
free in the bedroom.
forget about that.
Yeah, right. And so she doesn't want to be judged dating him in the beginning, and then now that these barriers are and the walls kind of coming down, she may be more free in the bedroom to like reveal certain things about herself. So I think that's a factor too.
I would ask this too. If I was to ask your homeboy, I would say, did you ask for this shit before? And it just never came to fruition. Like you was like, hey man, I would love to try some shit like that one day. And she was like, oh, well, maybe, I don't know. And then, 6 months go by and finally that shit came back up. She was like, she hit you with that. She hit him with that hot tool. He was like, wait a minute. Where did this shit come from? Nigga forgot he asked for it.
Well, he said the rhythm changed, and I was like, "What?" And he was like, "It's the thing with men. Like, it's a rhythm that you have with a woman when you having sex." And he said the rhythm was off; it was different. So it wasn't so much that she just popped up and did something, because I kept saying, "Did she just pop up and do something different?" And he said it was just the rhythm was different.
I think you're paranoid.
I was like, I ain't never heard of that in my life. So
Yeah,
it's
he might be
interesting we brought this
paranoid.
up.
I don't think he trusts her yet.
Either that, or he's short stroking, and she gave him that long stroke rhythm.
Because she was with somebody earlier today that was bigger.
And then kept slipping out.
What are you?
It was like, wait a minute, something different.
Hey, y'all crazy, man. See where y'all minds be going, man.
So do men prefer for a woman to talk about doing something different and don't just pop it up on them while you having sex? Like, do you guys prefer women? Like, do you guys want a heads up so that you kind of know?
And if a woman actually interested in extra things spicy and it's me, give a damn how to do it. Do it this way you feel comfortable.
I thought that was the purpose of porn. Like, you go put the video on, y'all watch it together, and then you talk about if you got something you want to try and you don't know how to bring it up, then just bring the porn on and discuss it then. Like this. That's low key what I thought it was for, instructional purposes.
It's for entertainment, bro. I mean, you can be, and it can also be informative. We'll say that.
All right.
When you watching it by yourself, right? That's like when you just be at the house watching that shit. Like, yeah, I'm entertained. But with somebody there, you're like, hey, you need to try this. you need to try this.
I ain't gonna lie to you. I do enjoy the Skinamax movies.
Old school ones.
What is
like
that?
the ones like the ones where they like take spoofs. Like they still like they're soft pornos, but like they're spoofs of movies and shit, like Lord of the Rings. Like the one of my favorite ones was Lord of the G-Strings. That shit was funny as hell. Hey, look it up. Hey, the shit was comedy, man.
Ain't nobody got time for that.
Don't be hating now. Don't be hating. But no, seriously though, Lord of the G-Strings was the shit. It was just a spoof comedy porno movie of the.
Did they have a midget in there? Like Schmeagol?
Nah. They had this real bad, like half black and Asian chick in there though.
Never mind.
If you guys just tuned in, man, welcome to Lapeef Network. Super chats. Michael $5 says, "Where was the black men while all women? They was trying to shame and insult him. Period. There was no question about the needs and wants of black people." Carlisle Tom $10 says, "We call ourselves a color, which given as a label. You were born either a man or a woman, child." BZ $2 says, "My bad, Jay. I didn't mean to derail the convo." Will 499 says, "Does anybody find it contradictory to say that I'm going to vote for Harris just because she black? Then ask you black first or woman first?"
I didn't say I said she ain't black, so I don't even got to answer that argument.
$5 says they cheat on men with other men, so men know women cheat. Men invented cheating. We invented the technology that she and he cheat with. Men are best.
Hey, JR, you got to read some of these movies, these words. Just listen in the chat.
Forrest Hump,
Forrest Hump.
Game of Thrones, Saving Ryan's Private.
Yeah, wow. Go ahead, keep it moving though. Is romantic love a bad thing?
Romantic love is such a bad thing.
Because it puts unrealistic expectations on a relationship. Romance is about whining and dining. And let's be honest, romance is about making women happy. There's nothing in the romantic model that says a man has to be happy at all. The romantic model says a man has to produce jewels, he has to produce nice things.
Right.
Look at the model of how proposals go in the West. Everybody has that image of their mind of a man down on his knee, bearing a gift, jewelry that's supposed to represent 3 months of his salary. It's all set up, it's all arranged in advance. That's romance. Romance is laying rose petals at her feet. Romance is talking to her.
Worshipping women.
It is a worship. Gee, what could go wrong there? Long term, if you start a relationship with that kind of unrealistic expectation, that only thing that matters is elevating her. The only thing that matters is her
that's why
happiness.
you get these women saying they fell out of love.
Absolutely.
Because they came in with the expectation of romantic love.
And women aren't particularly romantic. Men are. Men are the romantic ones. I work with couples. I work with men post-divorce. It's always the men that are devastated. The broken hearts. I mean, I see it affects women too, no doubt. But for most guys that I work with, by the time the divorce rolls around, she's doing well. Got a new boyfriend.
Right.
Probably had one before they ever broke up. She monkey branched right out of it. And women tend to do their grieving while they're in the relationship, and then they're done. And then a guy is like, oh, it's over now. Then he starts.
All right. Is romantic love a bad thing? I'm gonna start with you, Ruth.
I don't think it's too much of a bad thing. How it is on Instagram, yeah, it's extreme. I try to tell my daughter, it's like, don't stop expecting the hotel full of all of that stuff. It'd be the same people that break up next year because somebody was cheating. But I do think it's nice to have romance, and it's better when the woman is throwing it back to the man. Little things like, if a man opens up your car door, I learned that you're supposed to open up the door from the inside for him. But we always got it one way.
You was watching Bronx Tale.
What? No.
That came from Bronx Tale.
Anyway. Yeah, like, so it's we're trained to look at romance in one way, but it's nice to give him gifts. It's nice to take him out. It's nice to like have the picnic yourself, or like I think that we should, if you want romance and he's not that romantic, then you should show him how to do it more than just demand and expect it. I think it's the expectation that ruins it. Like, you're not doing this, and that means you don't love me, and that's not the truth.
All right. Go ahead, Miss T.
I think that the way that he framed it, I never heard it in that way, and I think that was very interesting and valid. I do think that maybe it's a bit of a misconception in that way. I think that maybe the relationships that I'm into or whatever are more reciprocal, and you kind of do things for each other. But I think romance in like the traditional sense, or what people are thinking about, like flowers and all that kind of stuff, a man doesn't want flowers and the things that we traditionally associate with romance. So I don't think a lot of women are doing that. But I do think that women, I mean, I see examples of, I know women, I see it in my life, women doing things for their man or being there for their man, buying things for their man, like things that you would almost equate to worship, like he was saying. I think that sometimes in relationships, people can worship each other, but I think that romantically, and what we think traditionally with romance, as far as like buying flowers and planning dates and getting down on one knee, I don't think those are things that women just do or that men want. I don't think, I don't know, do any of you men on this panel would like your woman to get down on the knee and propose to you and bring you flowers?
Well, not propose and bring me flowers, but worship me, yeah.
Yeah, I think that happens in relationships. I think that I see, sometimes I see it a lot more times in reverse. The woman worships him more so than he worships her. But I think just saying romance and what we think is romance, I think that is for women, because men don't want flowers.
I think romance is really big. It's like a big word for what we now are talking about these days, our love language. Because I'm not that I like that stuff, but if you get too mushy, I'm one of those people just kind of like, I'd rather us just sit here and watch a movie and smoke, and I would feel like that is so romantic. So I just think the love language is what saying what is considered romantic, but I think it has a lot to do with the man giving more of that. The woman's gonna cater to him anyway. We cook, we clean, we have sex, we make sure we look nice. Like, we do everything that we want that man to do. Most of us, I guess. I know I don't want to speak for everybody.
Janelle, you play for the other team?
What do you mean?
You bump kitty cats?
No, I've never been with a woman before, ever. That's a
Never?
good question, though. No, I've never been with a woman before. My first time kissing a woman was about 2 years ago. And that's the honest to God truth.
Hey, I appreciate that you took that in stride. I ain't gonna lie to you.
Took what?
Because, if that was anybody else, they'd be like, what the hell you mean? What the heck you talking about?
No, they wouldn't. This is a new day and age. Most women.
No, I'm talking about on this panel. You know how we get on this show. Motherfuckers be taking offense to every damn thing. I'm surprised. I'm glad she took that in stride. Was like, people be ready to fight up here.
Hey, you ain't hear T respond? Like, girl,
that?
never? Like, never, ever?
No, it just gives me
Ever?
a more open, free vibe. I just thought, I didn't think that.
A lot of my friends, I've been here in Arizona, 6 years? Everybody here is gay. So that's one thing. Almost everybody here is gay. And a lot of the friends that I have, they're dating like studs. So I'm around them all the time. They're cool. Studs women try to talk to me all the time, but I just never, I've never had that experience at all. I've never said that I wouldn't try it. I was open to it before when I was married, but that didn't happen either. So, I don't see anything wrong with it, but I just never had the opportunity to do it.
You know what's funny? When the studs be getting head with the dildo, the face they be making.
I'm done.
Why they be sitting there like,
Hey, Marcus,
they do not be sucking on no dildo.
Marcus, go in the corner.
That's what you be watching,
in the
bro.
Corner right now.
Marcus, you watching that? That's what you watching.
No, that's what I assume.
Oh my
God, it's a joke, bro. It's a joke.
I've definitely asked that question, and none of them said that they suck on
he dialed
the
in the
dildo.
back.
No, that's a joke. It's a joke. I'm in a silly mood.
That was a lot.
No, we got
fucking believable.
Is romantic love a bad thing? Go ahead, Casey.
First, that clip, that video, I've never seen it explained and broke it down in that direction and how he took it. Of course, people talk about social media and the age of, women idolizing couples and romance and Disney movies and Lifetime movies and not Lifetime movies, but Hallmark movies. When it comes to the Prince Charming and all that, I've always heard it go that direction. But the fact that he really touched on marriage, how, women grieve during marriages, by the time the divorce rolls around, they hit in the streets, right? And the guy is just starting that process, and it may take men longer. It's crazy. Everything he described, I know actual people that men and women, so many couples flashed in my head that it was so accurate to a T of how the women moved on and how the men grieved later on in the process. I feel that men, when it comes to marriage and long-term relationships, men are able to go through the ebbs and flows of there's a certain time and place within relationships for certain things. I feel like women expect to receive a certain level of attention and energy as though it's the beginning of the relationship and the honeymoon stages of getting to know each other and having all the time in the world, spending with somebody. But as you get older, and I'm not talking about like 60s and 70s, but as you get older in your relationship, things change, right? You might have the focus of your children, that's going to take priority over certain things, and then those are the years where you may be struggling to keep your marriage at the forefront. You're not going to go on date nights once a week. You're not going to be going on vacations every month, or you may skip a couple years where you're able to move around like you used to. And I think men hold on to the reason why they married that woman, but I feel like women lose focus of why they married that man, and those years, it causes them to like think that it's gone and it's over. Well, men realize this is where I am in my life right now, and this is what I'm focusing on. We'll get back to that, but it's not the time and place for that. And women, we're like, no, I still want to feel like this, even though 100 other things is going on, right? That's the selfish part of us. And I just think he made a lot of valid points. I completely agreed with him with all of that. I love that clip. Great clip.
All right, go ahead, Miss Trey Smooth.
All right, so I'd like to point out that the dude in the clip was obviously jaded. The perspective that he gave made it really seem like he's had some awful experiences with women. So we have to take what he says with a grain of salt, because there are women who do romance, right? So if we're talking about romance, it's a feeling of excitement or mystery associated with love, right? And that doesn't have to be monetary. Right now, there is a perversion of what romance is. What we witness on the romance, like in the romance novels, you watching 50 Shades of Grey or reading those books, or you doing it's just too much, right? It's been sensationalized and perversion now. It's a perversion of what romance was. I don't think that is what we should be looking forward to, and a lot of women are looking forward to that, and a lot of men aren't in a position economically, most of us aren't today, to do the form of romance that modern day women expect, right? And it's not all women, but far too many women are expecting the unrealistic version of what romance is. So men, we do appreciate romance too. So it doesn't have to come in the form of money. Like you just getting dressed before we get home and look at a certain way for us. We like, damn, okay, that'll make me excitement. That's kind of a mystery. I wasn't expecting that. That's cool. That's romantic. Or maybe you ran the bath for me. Maybe you got a massage for me or something. It's like, okay, you're putting effort into making me feel better. And Marcus was making a point about that. That's it. Like we could just be good with the simple things that don't take money. It could be an act of service. We don't normally expect that. And there are some women who don't expect it either. There's things that men can do. I know Ruth mentioned like setting up a picnic and stuff like that. And I feel like most women would appreciate that, because that would be unexpected unless you do it all the time. And it doesn't take a lot of money to do that. And sometimes as men, we have to realize what our deficiencies are. So if we have a problem where it's money and we can't afford to do something things, then we have to come up with creative ideas on how we can at least show acts of service, right? Which is one of the love languages, and say, all right, well, I'm going to do this for you. I'm going to take some time and set it aside for us. Right. I know, Chanel, you said, like, watch a movie, smoke a blunt. That's fine. If you want to smoke a J with your people, that's what you like, then that's cool. You can do that. You can set up times for that. And I think it's good when it's sporadic. Or maybe let's just go to a movie one time. Or let's go do a drive-in, right? If you can find a local drive-in, a lot of people don't do that type of stuff anymore. That's just like a different experience. So I think it's just important to, and that's cheap too, right? But it's not something that people do every day. There's different ways that you can go about it. But I think the main focus that we should have on is just doing something within your means where you're taking time to show the other person that you appreciate them, and you'll be better off. But the part where I do agree with dude is that right now the burden of romance is typically on men, right? That is what it is. Men, we just kind of go through our days, and a lot of times men will not be happy in a relationship. The woman doesn't put forth any effort, and they will just keep going, and they'll stay in that relationship, and then just, you know, they'll confide with their friends, they'll bond with their friends, and then you start seeing a bromance because because they're not getting the things that they want from their women. So they'll it's unfortunate, but this is what's really happening to men right now. They will go ahead and associate more with men because women aren't offering them the certain things that you would normally get out of a relationship. Typically, we could talk to women and talk about our day and say, look, this is what's going on. But sometimes women don't want to hear that, or you just really don't like them like that. Your homie will listen to you, right? Your homie will give you some advice on it, right? You could go and have fun with your homie. And it's a shame. I mean, that's where it stops, hopefully. But, you know, like a lot of the things that you're lacking in a relationship, sometimes you seek outside. And that's weird. And I wish that people weren't having to do that. But a lot of times women don't pay attention to detail. And they think that, you know, the norm is enough. Men are guilty of it, too. But it is what it is. We just have to put more effort into it.
Yeah, I think you made a good point, Trev. Women, y'all got to pay attention to y'all, man. Sometimes you need some attention and a little bit of love, too. Otherwise, you probably go entertain somebody else. May not be necessarily brothers, Trev, but depending on where they are, if they work a job and there's women that work there and he ain't been heard at home, sometimes he may entertain a conversation or two. Go ahead, Sweeney.
You got to come back to me, bro.
Well, the men have the most burden on being romantic because, I mean, women by nature, we're emotional. So eventually you're just going to have to tap into our emotions. We can literally be cooking for y'all and start thinking about something like, he didn't even tell me that my hair was cute. So, you know what I'm saying? So it's like, y'all don't do that. Y'all be getting up. I got to get some money. I got this. Y'all think about stuff all day. When I get home, I'm going to get my girl. We going to do whatever we do. Y'all don't need that attention all day. You know what I'm saying? But some women do. And to them, it's romantic if they get a text from you. Hey, babe, just thinking about you. I just sent you $20 for lunch. Whatever it is, like that, those little things, women, we need that. It's kind of a reassurance for us, especially when we allow you to be out and do your thing. I'm one of those people, you can be gone. I'm good. But if I don't know you thought about me at least once, then, you know, and that's just how women are. So that's why the man has the most burden to be romantic.
Okay. Mark, you spoke on this already?
Mm-mm.
All right, go
So
ahead.
I think that in the video he was describing why it was bad, right? I think what he was talking about wasn't so much romance, but more so like simping worship. Like when you are chasing after somebody and you put your all into them with very little return on effort, and they don't really want you like that, or whatever. Because that's why I always say in relationships, the woman should like the man more, because if you put yourself in a position where you're a fan of her, she has to look down on you because you're looking up to her. And then at that point, when like those patches hit, she'll either disconnect from you or try and figure out how she can connect to you. And if she likes you more, she'll usually try and figure out how to connect versus disconnecting from you. So I think what he experienced was him putting his all in and trying his hardest to somebody that didn't want him that much. And when the period hit, she disconnected. And he like, I tried everything, but I ended up just worshiping her. Because we have a natural like urge to try and correct the mistake. But if you don't feel like you want you don't feel like it's being reciprocated, some people will go that much harder and then turn into something like a stalker kind of, or like a bug, where they just like, you might be doing all this nice stuff, but she can't appreciate it because she don't feel that way about you. You don't want to get yourself in no situation like that. Date who actually likes you. Like, date the women that actually like you. Don't date women that you like that don't like you like that. I can't stress that enough.
Okay.
I say.
I understand your point. I just don't think the simping aspect. I just think men look long term at relationships and women look at right now. I also think that's why women file for divorce more than men, right? Because it's like, I'm not happy right now. But yeah, you might be happy in 6 months once he get this promotion that he been working on for 3 years and he get out of this funk or out this cloud that he's having to drive in, and then he'll be back to himself, or you'll see a little glimpse of light. I think women just can. This is how I feel. This has been going on too long, and I'm ready to end it. That's what I, and that's why I think it comes to the romance factor, and us not getting what we want when we want it. I think that's what he was speaking to. But I think that woman can still love and desire that man in the beginning, but she just gets out of getting what she wants later on. Like he's talking about, the romance is gone, the honeymoon phase is gone. Some people are addicted. They're addicted to their honeymoon phase. That's why you have some people that jump relationships constantly because they want that high of getting to know a person and being taken out on dates 4 times a week. And it's a rush. It's serotonin to the brain. So I think a lot of women are in love with that feeling. There are some men too that like relationship hopping like that too. They get bored quickly with people, even though they can find interest with them and be connected with them. It gets boring.
Yeah, we definitely as women can get in our own way when it comes to our relationship with men. We can get in our own way and only be looking at right now. And as far as what you had mentioned, I have a friend and she's like that. She's never been married. I can be a little bit biased because I feel like people that haven't been in long-term relationships or been married, that's why they get stuck in these honeymoon stages and they think their romance is all the time, but it's not after you've been married or been in a long-term relationship for a while. So she's never been married and she's in love with being in love. So, once it ain't there no more, she like, something ain't right, blah, blah, blah. And then she's on to the next. And she's been doing that for a long time. And it's just like, she's in love with being in love. And I think she's going to be like that until we're old. Because she passionately feels like men, they show you I just only want the best of them. And she said the best of them is the first 6-7 months, maybe the year. And then after that, the best of them is gone. And now she realizes that's not what she wants. So it's like, you don't know what you want.
Well, that sounds like she hurt, like somebody hurt her. That's what it sounds like. It sounds like she's just
someone has.
Yeah, she's self-sabotaging. She don't want to feel it. So whenever she sees things are not going on the up, she out. She's gonna try to beat him to it, but in the reality of things, it may not even get that far. But now she just created a situation where she's out, and they could have had a great relationship, a long-lasting relationship. But it's a lot of women that actually do that self-sabotaging. Shame on did you speak on it?
Oh, me?
Yes.
Oh, no, I did not.
She's so cute. I like her.
See, that's what we talking about right there. You talking about she cute.
She is.
Thank you. But so I think that
everybody is, but she's just her personality.
All the women, the guys are handsome, the women are beautiful on this panel. I think that women and men are very different in the way they move, all of these things, right? I think that I do think, like Trev said, people have taken it overboard, but it does not cost that much to be romantic. You're already cooking dinner, just put a candle there. You got candles all over the house, just throw one in the middle of the table, have a conversation alone, just spend some time together. I don't think that that's a lot to ask. We know women are emotional creatures. You have to play on that. Men are more logical. If you want her to do certain things, for example, and I know women aren't the same women they used to be, but if you have one who's cooking, she's cleaning, she's taking care of the kids, and all she's asking you to do is just be a little bit more romantic, bring her some roses every night. Roses are like $15 at Sam's. I get them every other week. And it's like 2 dozen. Just throwing it out there. Something nice. And especially if it's a night that you want to start that foreplay early and into it. Don't just, remember, it started with you guys. Don't lose the relationship amongst everything else, right? So I think that sometimes we can let life start lifing and we forget about each other. Don't ever forget about each other. And like Trev said, it can be, and I think some other people said, there could be inexpensive ways to do this. I enjoy watching movies too. I don't have to leave the house. Now, y'all know I don't like to leave the house. So that's cheap. Netflix, what you want to watch on Netflix? We put our socks together, our feet together. Little stuff like that. That's romantic. It's an expression of love. So you just got to know what the other person likes. And you have to play on that. So I'm not understanding how if your woman is requiring you to buy a lot of gifts as far as money, spend a lot of money, you just chose the wrong one. She's because that's not. I don't think that that's normal. It's not practical. It's not, it just seems like one of those women. I don't think that that's normal. Just that's all I'm saying.
Sure.
That's not the situation you should be in. Put it
Those be the conditions on sugar baby relationships.
Sure.
exactly, Mark.
What's your favorite genre of movie?
I like suspense.
Cause I swear to God, it say like you watch one too many of them goddamn
So
black Hallmark Christmas movies.
Listen, let me just say something. You started with me earlier. In the midst of that time, I saw you change the conversation like 3 times. And you got on me for doing it one time. And here you are again.
Does all the women on the panel read? Does everybody read like books? Do y'all be reading them romance novels?
Ain't nobody got time for that.
I did like the Notebook.
Oh my God, I used to always read Black Expressions.
Business.
Maybe not romance, but you know the type of novels I'm talking about. Y'all don't be reading them little books. You know the books.
And we know the book.
Yeah, I used to read. I used to have a membership with Black Expressions. You remember all them books? All of them Scandal and Black books, girl.
That was my form of entertainment before social media. I'd like get
exactly.
all
Well,
Somebody
y'all would
said
like
Zane.
TV movies then, because I'm in TV movies right now. Yeah, Zane books.
Man, it kind of sound like y'all.
them Zane books.
A little bond going on there.
Tubi is the new Zane book. Tubi is the new Zane book. I'm telling you.
The books were good,
one.
but Zane was extremely disappointed when she came out with that HBO TV show.
I didn't watch it.
She needed her ass whooped for that. I said, all that shit you put in your books, and this is the best you came up with to put on film.
Well, she was probably censored or something.
Oh, it was HBO. Ain't no censoring on HBO.
Kinda, yeah. I think they did water it down, Sweeney. I don't think she had as much.
She had to water down the story. She could
like to think.
She watered down the story. The story was bad. It wasn't even just the scenes or anything like that. It was the stories. Like all the stories.
That's what I'm saying. She may not. A lot of times when people write a book, they get them rights up, and they won't have as much creative control as they would like to. And it's different too. It's different types of writing. So writing a book is great, but it doesn't always translate the same onto screen, right? It's completely different writing a script. And a lot of times they'll have help with that. And then producers and everybody else, there's so many hands in the pot that kind of determine what's going to fly and what won't. So she might have got her joint on Stars and it would have came out completely different.
I need to write a book.
Hey, I'm going to put y'all up on, because Tubi have a lot of BS on there, but if there's anything written by Janiyah Black or produced by Blacksmith Productions, that's your lane. I'm telling you. Trust me.
Is that them Dallas people?
Janiyah Black. No, they all in Detroit, but there's a whole nother sector of Detroit people that the movies are trash. But Janiyah Black with a Y, Janiyah Black, not with the I, with the Y, and anything produced by Blacksmith Productions, you'll go down a rabbit hole and watch 5 of them in a row.
I don't know. Detroit, even Detroit trash ones are pretty much better than most of the Tubi ones. Detroit know how to put out a good Tubi movie. I ain't gonna lie. Detroit damn good at that. They ain't got shit else to do.
Who, Sweeney?
Detroit. They do put out a lot of good Tubi movies. I ain't gonna lie.
But it's a couple different producers though that they pumping a whole bunch of stuff out. But everything Janiyah Black writes and everything that Blacksmith Productions is a part of, it's like the production is like really good. It's not super cheap. The acting is also on a higher level. It's not like, oh, what do you say? Like it's very like they're skilled. It's they're right. The casting is good. The scenes are good. The storyline is amazing. Just pub them. Pub
Is
some people.
carpool and she time? Is that the person you're talking about?
Say it again.
Carpool and she time. I just looked. You spell it Janea, right? Black.
No. She don't have that E in her name.
Janaya. Oh.
Yep.
Yeah.
Janaya Black. Yep. That's it. No E.
All right, y'all.
Whatever you do, don't watch Gangsta's Daughter.
All right, we got a
I
transition.
haven't seen those.
Appreciate that, Casey. Make sure I go back on the replay, or you put it in the back chat for me, so I can put it out there for the chat. Get to these super chats. Congo English $20 says, "Great topic, JR. Thank you, sir." Congo English again $10 says, "Casey, I think you are married. If so, what is the key to maintain marriage with you and your love for him?"
Man, that's a good question. What do you want to say, Marcus?
Take advice from Marcus. He got the keys.
Shut up. You want to tell Reese that?
You know what he doing. You know what he doing.
No, I really would say, and Marcus talks about this a lot. I think at the core, you really have to like the person that you're choosing to be with. If you really like them before you love them, that's something that you hold on to regardless of what life swings at you. I always talk about there was a moment where, we had a rough patch, and when we got back together, there was never a moment that I wanted my husband to hurt, because I liked him as a person. So I always felt if anything happened that devastated our marriage and ended us, I still loved him to the point where I wanted him to win in life, because I thought that he was a great person. He's an amazing person at his core. So I really like him as a person, and I like who he is. I like what he stands for. I like what he brings to my life and the people around him. So I think when you really like a person to their core, you can love them through anything, even when they're not being themselves that you like, if that makes sense.
I still remember so we drove from Chicago to Louisiana for y'all wedding, right? It was me and him in the car for hours and hours and hours. I'm like, bro, why are you getting married? He was like, she's an amazing woman, and when you know, you just gotta hold women like that and don't let them go. So he always had a whole lot of love for you since the very first day.
Same. It's always been mutual.
All right, keep it going. Last one, Gina 789 $5 says, "There's men who want the honeymoon stage because they never seen a long time marriage in their home growing up." Appreciate that. Make sure you hit that like button. Also, make sure you subscribe to the channel. Appreciate you, Congo English. Go ahead and get to this topic. Navigating financial responsibilities in a relationship.
So Holly, listen. A 2-income household. Now listen, we can definitely have a nice 3-bedroom house under just my income. You dig what I'm saying? 3-bedroom, 2-car garage. But now, out of both our incomes, we can get an 8-bedroom house, 4-car garage. Why are we not elevating together? What you gonna do with your money while I'm paying for everything?
So no. I'm not saying that you're gonna be paying for everything. When I say a 2-income household, I'm not bringing my income. If I start dating a man and he's like, okay, we're gonna get serious, we're gonna make money together, my income prior to you has nothing to do with you. I'm not bringing it to the table, because if you a man, you supposed to groom me, right? We supposed to do this together. My income don't have nothing to do with what
I get it, but we talking about after we've already been together.
Yeah.
Once we're already together, right? And we're trying to figure out, all right, look, we're looking for a new house. Are we gonna look for this new house under just my income or both of ours?
You talking to me. If you're dating me, your income gonna be solidified. You're not gonna care about that. I'm not bringing man to the table.
It's not me caring about it. It's about the banks. I can't get this 1.5.
Now that's different.
Listen, no, it's not. That's what I'm talking about. This $1.5 million house that I want, they're not gonna just hold on. They're not just gonna give it to me off my income. Both our incomes will get the house. You dig what I'm saying? So what do you mean you're not gonna bring it to the table?
Okay, so
if you're not gonna bring it to the table, then I need to find a woman that will.
So now hear me out. If you need my income to get this house for us, we don't supposed to have this house.
Why? Because you're not gonna live in it?
No, hear me out. I'll put my income on the line, but as a man, you are the leader. You're supposed to provide. That means you already coming in the door above your means if you need all of my pocket.
No. It's about the bank. You got to remember.
No, that's different. Like on paper.
That's what I'm saying. So
that's different.
So here's my thing, right? If we are trying to get this house, we can get a double the size house if both our incomes are on there. You dig what I'm saying? Regardless of who pays the bills, this, that, and the other, we're going for both of ours. So I'm trying to figure out why are you saying yours not coming into play?
If that's the game plan, you the leader. I'm following you, baby. Take my W2.
So your income is coming into play.
But you're paying that mortgage. It's not coming out of my pocket.
So what you
Not
gonna do?
even a
So what you gonna be doing with?
Okay,
if I'm
so
paying
you gonna
those
pay
bills,
everything else.
what are you gonna be doing with your money?
You paying everything else.
Me being me, everything else investing. But here's the thing, right? When I say like I am a wife, let's say for instance my income, I don't care if it's $2,000 a month. I will come to my husband. You paying the bills, babe. What we gonna do with this money that I'm bringing in? I'm not bringing it to the table for you to go F it off so you can go trick off with Keisha, Tish,
You
and
moving
Shay.
the goalpost.
I'm not.
You're
I'm
bringing.
not
Listen,
it
you
to
just
the
said
table.
you're bringing it to the table.
I will
You
bring
just-
it to the table if you. I will bring my paperwork to the table.
but not the actual money.
Holy fucking shit.
What an unruly woman. She would not let him get his
No,
thoughts out. He was really trying to ask
Trev.
a question.
Trev, this is how stupid people are. This is how people get away with saying all I have to do is pay the mortgage and that means I'm paying all the bills. She literally just said, yeah, we can use both of my, because when you use both of your income and you buy double the house, that just means this whole check is going towards the mortgage. And she just said, I'll pay everything else. I don't know about y'all, but when you break down your household bills, everything else is a whole lot of money. You're literally paying half while up here talking about how you're not going to go 50-50 while literally paying half. Just because you don't pay the mortgage does not mean you're not paying half. You're just not paying the mortgage. He put his $3,500, $4,000 a month or $5,000 a month, or if he makes 10 grand a month and he's putting 8,000 towards the mortgage, you're paying for everything else with your dumb ass. But y'all never count that shit.
No, I mean,
Hold on, Trev. Your internet messed up, Trev. Yeah, it's freezing. We gotta wait for a second.
She didn't know what she was talking
froze
about.
right
She
now?
gonna say she's not gonna bring no money to the table. But then she turned around and said,
I'm going to be paying
"I'm gonna
for
get my money and
I'm
I'm
gonna
gonna bring my money and ask you what to do with it."
I'm gonna do the
if you
investment
ask
property.
me, if you ask him what to do with it, and he said I need to put it towards this so we can invest in a bigger house. Like she just didn't make sense.
I'm gonna bring my paperwork.
Right.
See, and
My
that's,
girl
but you
said
know
she
what
was
though?
living
That's
above
how
his means.
that's
He was
how
living-
divorces happen though. Is because when shit hit the fan, she brought her paperwork to get a bigger house, and then
I
said,
didn't hear what you said.
He was living above his means. That's what she said.
God,
Black people we got to stop doing this. Well, let me not say this. You live your life however you want. This is not financial advice. I can't tell nobody what to do with their money. However, I would suggest that if you have a 2-income household and it's possible to make it off of one income and save and invest the other income, please do that. Don't try and get if I didn't hear them say they had 8 kids. The fuck do you need an 8-bedroom house for?
yeah, I forgot to call him a dumbass for that too.
Yeah,
I meant to call him a dumbass too, but she blew the doors off.
If you buying things to impress other people, or so you gotta, that's poor financial management. I would say, in my personal opinion, that's poor leadership. And you seeking external validation, which can never actually come, because it's always going to be something bigger and better. You're going to just up working yourself to the bone, and they had nothing to retire on because you was living check to check to keep up an image, to impress people on social media or in your friend group, or to have a barbecue one time at your house, or a pool that nobody's swimming because you can't never get off work because all you doing is working to pay. And that's my personal opinion. That's not a high standard of life.
That's facts, bro.
Yeah, I think that the true wealth is with your family, and when you make enough money that you can save that, so you can figure out how to buy your time back. Money is a vehicle that's supposed to get you places quicker and faster, but the true wealth is time. That is your true wealth. So if you lose all of it, you just burned yourself out for an 8-bedroom house that you only could sleep in one of the bedrooms and might not have no kids because you only got one kid, thinking about, yeah, it's too expensive to have kids, but you bought, I don't know, people be silly.
Now,
People be real silly.
I'm willing to give the guy the benefit of the doubt that he was just basically saying that he was using that as an analogy to say, why, if on my income we can't get the thing that we want, but if we throw your income in there, we can actually get the thing that we want if you put your money up. But I mean, it's kind of like champagne dreams with beer money, because when you throw her income in there, y'all max it out. Your income ain't gonna be enough to pay that mortgage. That's just mad.
Yeah, but she just blew me with the comment about, I'm not gonna give you my money so you can go trick off on Keisha and Tisha and Lisa. That or whatever. That just, why are you with the person if you think they're gonna take your money and go spend it on another one? That was just a weird comment to me.
Because that's where her mind was. That's why she said she wasn't bringing it. Her mind was always there. She was thinking of the worst case scenario regarding her money. So in her mind, she's like, she don't trust men. She don't trust no nigga.
She hasn't had no experience being in a successful long-term relationship or being married, because marriage is really like running a business. Like, she is definitely not a partner mindset. She definitely, like, you're supposed to do this. You're supposed to. Yeah, she's not ready. Like, that's her personality. She don't marriage. Like, that guy was really, I get it. The whole thing. Yeah, I don't know about maxing out the income because it's two of them, but he still was trying to logically help her understand, if we come together and discuss how we can be a little bit better and upgrading ourselves and still afford it, why can't we do that together? But in her mind, I'm preparing for you to be a jerk. You are gonna cheat on me. I'm keeping my money, because at the end of the day, when I'm gone, I'm taking my money. Like, she just, unfortunately, I feel sorry for him that that's really his girlfriend, because she really, and then in front of, it was like some chick stuff. I'm like, dang, she ain't got no respect for him. She was going in on him.
All right, hold on, y'all. Let's go to T and then Sham Monet.
No, I was just saying, somebody in the comments was saying, I didn't understand. I was just repeating what she said, but I understood. I was just amused by that comment, that in the discussion of them, pulling their money together and what they can buy as a couple, that she told him that he was living above his means. That's why I repeated it. I thought it was hilarious. I do understand. But as far as this conversation, I think a lot of the things that she was saying was absurd. I think he was speaking maybe in exaggerated hypotheticals as far as an 8-bedroom for whatever, but just the concept that as a partnership, we could do more or have more or whatever, we would be more financially sound and more able to do whatever we want to do if we were working together. And have her sit in this man's face and tell him, I'm keeping my money, and it sounds ridiculous. And I thought that comment, you live it above your means, sounds ridiculous, because it's more likely that she's living above her means. I feel like when she threw that $2,000 number out there, I think that's because something she's familiar with. And I don't think that you can really, I don't know if $2,000 monthly is a lot to offer as far as an 8-bedroom house or something like that. So I think that that's maybe, a little covert way of keeping her finances to herself. But I think it was, the conversation was pretty absurd.
So she broke. Okay. All right, go ahead, Sham Monet.
I think her points that she was all over the place, so it's kind of hard to say what it was that she was really thinking. Points that were factual points, if both would have stuck to it. I do believe that's you should go by one income. If you can't afford a $1.5 million house on one income, then I don't think, and that's what both of you guys put in the pot. It's just a smart way of doing things. So I agree with Marcus on that situation. But she did say that money would go towards investing. She did, like I can't see, Casey said she started going on a tangent, and maybe she went on a tangent because I don't remember anybody mentioning marriage here. I just think that they said boyfriend and girlfriend, maybe. So when did we start? That was confusing to me. It seemed like so you go into a relationship with your boyfriend and y'all just start buying bigger houses and stuff. That lost me as well. So maybe that's why she brought up Keisha and all the other people. But in a marriage or a solid relationship, ideally you want to put your income together, look at what you've got, and basically base it off of one person's income, and the other income is there to hold down the household as well, but in another way, maybe like Sweeney said, those other bills like your electrical bill, all those bills add up, and it's almost the same. If like Sweeney said, not more. So that conversation, I are they together? I mean, like, was it a life partnership? Was it boyfriend? Like, it was just, and then people's thoughts. I was confused.
I don't so Holly, listen. So right, a 2-income household. Now listen, we can definitely have a nice 3-bedroom house under just my income. You dig what I'm saying? 3-bedroom, 2-car garage. But now, out of both our incomes, we can get an 8-bedroom house, 4-car garage. Why are we not elevating together? What you gonna do with your money while I'm paying for everything?
So no. I'm not saying that you're gonna be paying for everything. When I say a 2-income household, I'm not bringing my income. If I start dating a man and he's like, okay, we're gonna get serious, we're gonna make money together, my income prior to you has nothing to do with you. I'm not bringing it to the table. Because if you a man, you supposed to groom me, right? We supposed to do this together. My income don't have nothing to do with what
I get it, but we talking about after we've already been together.
Yeah.
Once we're already together, right? And we're trying to figure out, all right, look, we're looking for a new house. Are we gonna look for this new house under just my income or both of ours?
You talking to me. If you're dating me, your income gonna be solidified. You're not gonna care about that. I'm not bringing man to the table.
It's not me caring about it. It's about the banks. I can't get this 1.5.
Now that's different.
Listen, no, it's not. That's what I'm talking about. This $1.5 million house that I want, they're not gonna just hold on. They're not just gonna give it to me off my income. Both our incomes will get the house. You dig what I'm saying? So what do you mean you're not gonna bring it to the table?
Okay, so
if you're not gonna bring it to the table, then I need to find a woman that will.
So now hear me out. If you need my income to get this house for us, we don't supposed to have this house.
Why? Because you're not gonna live in it?
No, hear me out. I'll put my income on the line, but as a man, you are the leader. You're supposed to provide. That means you already coming in the door above your means if you need all of my pockets.
No. It's about the bank. You gotta remember.
That's different. Like on paper.
No, that's what I'm saying. So
that's different.
So here's my thing, right? If we are trying to get this house, we can get a double the size house if both our incomes are on there. You dig what I'm saying? Regardless of who pays the bills, this, that, and the other, we're going for both of ours. So I'm trying to figure out why are you saying yours not coming into play?
If that's the game plan, you the leader. I'm following you, baby. Take my W2.
So your income is coming into play.
But you're paying that mortgage. It's not coming out of my pocket.
So what you gonna be doing? So what you gonna be doing with? So if I'm paying those bills, what are you gonna be doing with your money?
You paying everything else.
Me being me, everything else investing. But here's the thing, right? When I say like I am a wife, let's say for instance my income, I don't care if it's $2,000 a month. I will come to my husband. You paying the bills, babe. What we gonna do with this money that I'm bringing in? I'm not bringing it to the table for you to go F it off so you can go trick off with Keisha, Tish,
you
and
moving
Shay.
the goalpost.
I'm not.
Listen, you just said you're bringing it to the table.
I'm more pissed off the second time.
Let me just say this real fast. So I don't know what her thought was, but on one point she said, if we're just dating. And then towards the end, she said, well, if you're my husband, right? So those are two very different situations. If I come to my husband and he says, "Bless, what we gonna do with this money?" That's my husband. If I'm dating you, I don't even know why this is a conversation. He can't even give you his last name. You want it? I'm not understanding. It's.
Well, I guess Shan, why are they talking about buying a house and they just date? Why are they talking about buying a house and they just dating?
Well, I don't think this is
like, why y'all talking about a house unless you're married at all?
No, this is a podcast, y'all.
You don't need to worry about my money at all.
That's a podcast. Well, I don't think them two are together at all. He was just saying if
I'm saying the conversation. I'm saying she's saying the conversation. If we just started dating, you don't need to be worried about my money at all. I'm sorry. If a man is dating a female, he wants to know, he's going to be looking at her, how is she educated, what is she doing in her life, her career, all of those types of things, because he has to calculate in his mind, okay, if she's a lawyer making $250 right now when they're dating, okay, it's a point in there where she might want to have kids and not practice law. So all of those things have to be factored in. So her money is going to play a point even in the dating process for a man, he's going to be thinking about that in his lifestyle down the line if he's considering marriage with her. So for women to act like our money doesn't matter, don't worry about what I'm doing, it's all about you, is absolutely insane to me, because a man has to think about those things.
Well, to be honest with you, I feel like when dating, women spend more money in a relationship than men, because I cook, I'm buying my groceries. He comes over, I cook for him. You know, we do that stuff. We end up spending the most. We buy the toiletries for the house. Y'all be over here at the house. Like, I think women, we spend more money when we're dating, to be honest with you. I'm not talking about dates, but I'm just talking about in general, just coexisting and spending time with each other. I feel like women spend the most money dating.
What?
I do.
Seriously. We do. Like,
I'm not even gonna.
Like, nigga, like, whenever I'm in a relationship, like, I am buying groceries, I am cooking. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, sometimes they'll give me money and everything, but I'm running my crib. I'm buying toiletries. You're using all my tissue. You're drinking all my food. You eat all this stuff. And I'm running my ship. So, yeah, while we dating, yeah.
Oh, you mean you spend more money than you usually do personally, not more than what he
Yes.
spends?
I'm just saying, like, a woman when she's in a relationship, she does spend more money.
As in, like,
Then the man
last
or
month,
normal?
then the man, or like last month, before I was in a relationship, I only spent like $6,000 a month, but since I'm in a relationship now, I'm spending $8,000 a month. Is that what you're saying?
No, I'm just saying in
Or
a
you saying that you
situation,
spend
like,
more
okay,
than a
like, I
man?
got my own house. Like, I'm in my house. If I'm in a relationship, I'm like, yeah, I'm buying more stuff. I'm making sure that he good. I'm making sure that it's food all the time. Like, I'm not asking him to give me some money to buy groceries. I'm just doing that. You know what I'm saying? And I mean, it ain't like men. I don't know too many men that got their own crib and they buying groceries and, you know what I'm saying, cooking all the time and stuff like that. I just feel like that
And
women,
here we go.
we do that mostly. What?
Chanel,
Chanel.
We do spend more money. I spend more money. I'm telling you.
always at my husband's crib when I lived at home with my parents, and he had his. I think more men have their own spots in dating first before women. So men have to provide the food for the house, the woman hanging up, eating everything, hanging out, the electricity, the TV's being run while they're at work. You in the house, laid up, chilling in their house. I think men spend more money in the dating process than women. That's what I think.
I say this real fit. It depends on the woman that you have, right? So for me, I'm a very catering woman. Okay. So yes, I'm going to go. I put a lot of thought into it. So you come to the house, I'm going to think about it. I'm going to do everything because that's just who I am as a person. There are women who's like, nope, he got to do everything. That's just not, and it's not because he's taking advantage of it or anything. It's just the woman that I am.
That's what I'm saying. Right. It's the type of woman. And we think about their favorite foods.
And I'm sorry,
you know
Chanel.
Before I met, I wasn't buying these
I'm gonna be
favorite
real
foods.
with you, Chanel. None of that shit count if it's only in your house.
What
if
do
you ain't putting that, if you ain't putting that shit in my crib, it don't even count. You buying toiletries at your house, putting groceries in your refrigerator, just because I came over there to use it because we kicking it for the night is not the same thing. Now, if you bought it and put it in my house, that's a totally different standard. That's a totally different thing right there.
I don't have a lot of experience with dudes having their own house.
I'm about to go ahead. Go ahead. I'm gonna add a
You
monkey
keep the
wrench
rest
in
of the
there
toilet
too.
paper.
Sweetie, no, your wife. But if I was your
All right, I go over there use one roll of toilet paper, and all of a sudden you have to buy 17 rolls of toilet paper because of me. No, hell no.
Why are you using one roll?
So what I'm saying,
in that bathroom?
all I'm saying is there are certain women, if I come to your house and I see you're in need of something, I just take it upon myself to just go get it.
Buy it.
I was like, oh, what's this? I don't mind. I don't ask him because he's gonna say no. But I'm like, I don't have to ask. He needs it, and
We do. We buy stuff for y'all
but I
crib.
feel
Y'all
like
towels be
men-
looking all old and stuff. I'm about to buy some new towels because I ain't
I
using
feel
those
like
when I'm over
men
there.
don't be up in women's houses like that. Like, it's not even safe for men to be doing that. I mean, it's like the rule when a man's dating a woman, you can't trust other dudes that the woman was dating before to pop
Casey,
up.
Casey, the dudes be there do be dudes.
It's the
be
women
saying-
that pop up. That's why I don't want to be in nobody's crib when I first meet them. Like, you got an ex.
But I'm saying for dude safety though, he'd rather have the woman come over to his house versus him go over to her house and catch a bullet something crazy pop off. Am I tripping? Because
Hold on, no.
That's like
You right.
No,
You right.
Marcus. There's two sides to that story. No, there's two sides to that story. Because men also worry about bringing women to their crib too, because of shit that may pop. Like we worried about both of them. Like,
So let me,
but
can I please clarify this? Because I just want to be very clear. I only date manly men who got their shit together. So that whole thing about I'm dating, no. It's my man is busy. So there are certain things that I pay attention to, and I'm not going to ask him. I just do it for him. It has nothing to do with his manhood. He can't afford it. It's just something I like to do. As the woman in the house.
Somebody in the chat.
Right, she over here getting
You got
mad
triggered reading the chat. I thought you needed glasses. You probably didn't even read that comment right.
I did. Marcus, shut up. You know I can't see.
It's just that women are intuitive. We're intuitive, so we just think about stuff and we spend our money when we think
But
about
y'all,
it.
how come y'all so damn intuitive? But when somebody asks you for something directly, all of a sudden all that intuition go out the damn window. He calls you and says,
it feels better when we come up with it ourselves.
We ain't asked you to do that. We asked you to listen to what we want. Nobody asked you to go and come up with some random shit. Talk about some, I'll put some new toilet paper in your bathroom. Motherfucker, I asked you to make me a sandwich. What the hell you doing?
You can't get toilet paper in the sandwich?
I'm just saying, that's the logic that y'all going off of. Talking about some we intuitive, but you don't want to be intuitive about the damn sandwich I wanted.
Hey, I think Ruth said something.
You just need to make sure they get you the sandwich.
Like I said, like intuitive, we think about y'all favorite foods and snacks. So whenever you come over, it's there. You know what I'm saying? Like that's all I'm saying.
Gushers and Magnum ice cream.
It'd be their favorite foods and
y'all don't even know
snacks.
y'all want it.
No, it'd be their favorite foods and snacks that they load your refrigerator up with.
Yeah, everything I like.
I don't even eat cookies and cream ice cream. Why is this in the refrigerator? Oh, I just thought you might like that. So you ain't gonna get my butter pecan? So you forgot the butter pecan, but you're gonna get the cookies and cream though.
Hey, Ruth mentioned something about going out on dates. What was that you said, Ruth?
Oh, I think that men spend more money.
No, you was asking ladies if they getting taken out on dates.
Oh yeah, you guys getting taken out on dates because why we at the house so much? I
was saying outside of the dating part.
Ruth, you ain't
Like
seeing inflation?
dates.
It costs $35 to go to a movie now. Shit, this is expensive.
Did you ask why be at the house so much?
Yeah.
You know everybody ain't celibate, Ruth. You know that, right?
Say what?
You know everybody isn't celibate.
I understand what you're saying, but if you're in the courting process, right? You'll be outside the house and the men spend money on it. So I don't know how toilet paper and snacks is adding up to the dates. That's what I'm saying.
That's outside the dates.
I know a girl who counted the light bill went up because he's around, and I'm just like, I don't want to be like counting all the cents and the pennies, that he spends. Like, I just don't think that this is the same. If you pulled out your wallet as much as he did, or even at the beginning, you'd be complaining way more about that than snacks and whatever else we spend our money on that we volunteer, like Sweeney said.
I'm not complaining at all. I mean, I'm doing what I want to do. It's just that I think a lot of men think that they're the only ones spending money when they're dating, because like what you just said, they think that when we're going out, that's the only time money's being spent. It's not.
Chanel,
I'm not talking about you, Chanel. I'm talking about somebody I personally know. She literally was like, and he's not paying the bill. And then when I asked him what was going on, then come to find out she wasn't paying her bills on time, judging him for staying at, it was crazy. Mm-mm. So it's not about what you're saying, and also I don't know what celibacy have to do with this conversation.
Just that threw me off.
Hey Chanel, you want to know the difference?
No, you talked about being celibate before. I'm saying celibate like people.
Actually, that was in the back chat. Actually,
no, it wasn't.
If I'm not mistaken.
No, it wasn't. We talked about this before.
Hey guys, I'm celibate. Thank you, Marcus, for that. No.
You're welcome.
Chanel, you want to know the difference though? The difference is that when you talk about the things that y'all do, it's because you want to do it. Whereas the things that we do is always an expectation for us to do it. Nobody came to your house and said, man, I expect there to be a goddamn, it better be King toilet paper roll with my name on it. And that motherfucker, every time I walk in there, and if it ain't, we got a problem. Like for us, that's an expectation. If I don't put money up, you get mad. See, if you don't put money up, it's just like, I guess, you know what I mean? Ain't no toilet paper in the crib today. Gotta use it.
You're really on toilet paper tonight, Sweeney. Goodness.
That's because she brought it up, so I thought I would.
It was such a small thing, such a small thing. I was just throwing a few things out there.
No, I understand what you're saying because I used to be like, oh, I gotta pay for my makeup and my sitter and all this other stuff, and then I was like, yeah, those are things we're gonna buy anyway, and we do spend money, but if you really, they literally spend it to waste. It's gone. After you go to dinner and you spend $250, they don't see that no more. And then you expect it the week after and the week, you know what I mean? So it's just like, it adds up.
At least you get 180
and when you
uses out
get
of the money you
married,
spend.
you be looking at like, no, I wanted to go to dinner. I can cook. That I hate wasteful spending like that. Like
Me too.
$500 dinners for it to just be over with in 2 hours. I can't stand that. I feel like we can go to a concert, at least have an experience over some food. Every now and then, yes, but not when I'm looking at that daycare bill we spending.